BillieandArmin.com talk and text line 1-877-794-1973.
Wait a minute, these guys are cool, but not that cool.
No BS is presented by Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screaming is about. Now, Billy and Armin on the game.
Oh, welcome in. No BS. He's Armin Sari, and I'm Brian Noen for Billy. Man, we got a ruling here on Papa Halliburton.
Papa Hallie.
Papa Hallie not going to be courtside anytime soon. So he and the Pacers front office, they had a little sit down, and they said, "How about you stay away from the games for a while for the quote unquote foreseeable future, right?" So this is an indefinite suspension, which who knows could be a series. Well, they're probably only going to be around for another series,
Hopefully,
and then he'll be back next year, and
right, we'll forget about it.
Blow over, but man, it sounds better when it's an indefinite suspension. It's like, holy hell, is he banned for life? No, of course not.
Foreseeable future, aka we don't think we're gonna get past the second round. Man, what would it be like in any other situation as a parent when you get banned from your kids' activities? Like, we're gonna ask you to not come to the dance recital. Please do not come to swimming lessons. I'm sorry, you can't work the concessions at the Little League stand anymore, selling super ropes and Big League Chew and popcorn. We just don't think that's appropriate. We need you to stay away for the indefinite future. Like, you came and watched your kid play. I'm not surprised it happened because I felt like John Halliburton crossed the line with this. But I was thinking to myself, is it harsh? Is it not harsh enough? Is it just right? Because it'd be pretty wild if the Pacers made a run and your own child was in like the NBA Finals and you weren't allowed to watch and you got banned. And not even worse, you got banned from your own team. It's like, we're gonna ask you to be there for parent-teacher conferences, but we're gonna ask the father not to come, please. He's a disruptive presence. Like, you essentially get banned from the middle school gym. Like, it's just pretty hilarious to me.
It's it can't. I mean, it's got to remind you of this from Two Live Crew, right? It's an anthem right there. It's fantastic. But that's Papa Hallie right here, banned after talking trash to Giannis.
It reminds me of Randy Marsh in South Park. Always at the baseball games and then getting into fights with other parents. I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
It's hilarious. That's a great meme. Yeah, I mean, Papa
how about
Hallie, right?
How about the Papa Hallie side of things? Right, you've heard the Giannis side of things.
Okay,
the press conference right after the game. So Papa Hallie, he was on TMJ4. I'm telling you what, this audio
is wild, isn't it?
Top shelf. It is tremendous. Here's the first part of it.
It might have seemed like I was looking at him, but I really wasn't. I was looking through him. That's how I was in the moment. I know it looked like we were looking, like I was staring him down, but it wasn't like that. It was in the moment, as if I was looking right through him. And yes, I had the banner in my hand going, and I was yelling, "Yay! Yay! Yay!" Giannis never said anything to me. I never said anything to Giannis. There was no back and forth.
Man, it's just so ridiculous that he believes anyone's gonna believe that crock of nonsense. It just really it is, Brian. I mean, right, guys? It's
yay!
That's another one. Sure. Like, you're actually the fact that he's actually doing it. I just can't believe he believes anyone's gonna leave it. I listen, teacher. I didn't say that to him. I said it through him, even though I was looking right at him, saying it to his face. I didn't say that. You can't get me in trouble. I didn't punch him on the playground. I was punching through him to punch the air.
Right.
And he just happened to be there. I mean, that was completely crazy. Yeah.
I'm rooting for Papa Hallie here because this gives everybody an out. If you lose your cool and you're flipping off someone, it's like, no. I wasn't flipping you off right to your eyes. Right. It was the guy in the fifth row behind you. That's what I was doing. Right. Like, or I like this one. If you're out and occasionally as a guy, a nice booty will catch your attention.
Yeah,
no. I wasn't looking at the booty there. I was looking at
I was looking at that car across the street. It's a really nice car over there.
Exactly.
Looking at the pants, the fashion is what I was looking at. You know what I mean? That's what I was analyzing. So that's an out.
It was looking through it right there. Yes, the
That's
first part's
yeah.
top shelf.
It might have seemed like I was looking at him, but I really wasn't. I was looking through him.
Okay, looking through him.
Sure.
This is the second part of this sit down, which I mean, this might go in the Audio Hall of Fame on TMJ4. Papa Halle talking about what they were saying to each other. The second part, right? Giannis goes up to Papa Halle. They're forehead to forehead. What was said? This is what Papa Halle says that they were talking about.
He grabbed my hand. He put his forehead on my forehead, and he said, "Don't disrespect me. Don't effing disrespect me." Okay? And I said to him, I was not trying to disrespect you, which I wasn't. I'm telling you, I did not do that on purpose. I really did not. And then I said to him, "I love you." He said back to me, "I love you." We patted chest. He gave us a thumbs up, and he walked away.
Which he did give us a thumbs up if you look at the video. And that might have been the conclusion of their conversation. I would imagine he said some other stuff to Giannis other than "I love you" or "I'm not trying to disrespect you." Right.
But the second half is much more believable than the first half.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Really quick, we do have obviously the YouTube stream going, Facebook and Twitter, and I want to thank John for chiming in. We're waiting. Sorry, we didn't start the show yet, but John says, "I'm a Pacers fan, and I hope his dad never comes back." Just a blank. I mean, I don't think a guy should be banned for life for this, but you do have the question, like, what's the proper punishment? Because the NBA wants to make sure that this could have been a lot worse if Giannis didn't hold his ground, didn't control himself. And I think the NBA wants to prevent that, right? They want to make sure people aren't going on the court. And that seems to be the line you can't cross, is going on the court, right? If he got in a fight in the stands with somebody, what would the punishment have been? I'm not sure. It would have been an indefinite suspension. It might have been. I'm not really sure of that, but
you know what would be a real great punishment for him? The Pacers should just trade Tyrese Halliburton to like the Washington Wizards.
There you go. Why not?
Where he'll just live in just absolute anonymity. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's where I find it to be interesting, where let's just keep it apples to apples. All right.
Yeah.
Like, what if Giannis did the equivalent of what Papa Halle did at first, right? Papa Halle's just celebrating in the face of Giannis. So it literally have to be the equivalent. Giannis goes a couple of rows into the crowd, and let's say the Bucks won Game 5, right? He goes a couple of rows in the crowd and whatever, gestures to them like, "See you in Game 6, suckers," or whatever he says, like there's nothing, right? But there's nothing done, zero. And that's the interesting part to me, is that would also have the potential for a far worse scene, right?
Yeah.
But there wouldn't be anything done if it didn't result in, haymakers being thrown or some really ugly scene. Even though there's the potential on the athlete side, if this is apples to apples and Giannis is doing that, or any other athlete is doing basically the equivalent of what Papa Halle did, it's a nothing burger. It is zero.
Interesting. So you think because he crossed the line onto the court for the player, that's where the issue is, but the player wouldn't be held accountable for that? Is that what you're saying, Brian?
No. I'm saying, if the player did the equivalent of what Papa Halle did, right? So Papa Halle went onto the court. Let's say the player goes into the stands. He says, he talks some trash. He's like, "This is what the F I do," whatever, right? And then, nothing else happens after that. There's nothing done. There's no suspension. I don't know if there's even a fine. There probably would be a fine. There's no way that's an indefinite suspension. No chance.
No, that would not be an indefinite suspension. I agree. But I mean, Russell Westbrook has gone after some fans right before. Like, hasn't he talked back to fans in the crowd a little bit, or wasn't there some issue?
He has. There was an issue in Utah, right? There was an issue in Utah, shockingly. I mean, wow. Right, but there was an issue there where fans are getting on him, and they went back and forth, but that's, or I guess Pat Bev. Remember Pat Bev threw the basketball at Pacer fans?
Yeah, I think
he got suspended for a couple of games.
He would have done that, right?
But again, that's more than words. Like the Papa Halle thing, that's just words and being where you shouldn't have been. That's my point. If a player just goes where they shouldn't be and talks some trash, no one's up in arms about this.
Yeah, and I think
that's why it's like a double standard.
It is, but it's also because it would be more of a punishment to prevent a player from playing the game that everyone's watching than a fan from just watching it in the arena, right? It's not the same equivalent. I mean, because we don't go to watch fans. So I get what you're saying in that sense. It is kind of a double standard, but I think you also deem like who the aggressor. Aggressor is the weird term, I guess. But who was the first one to instigate in that moment?
Yeah,
and in theory, it's
provoking
like
who. And,
I mean, there's like Thanasis is a very visible family member of Giannis, right? And he sits courtside now. He's not on the team anymore. He sits courtside now a lot. Like, what if Thanasis did that? Like a family member, right, of a player. Like, what would the punishment be for Giannis? Like, Giannis wouldn't be, but would they ban Thanasis from games? I'm not really sure.
Okay,
this is his own home arena. You know what I mean?
Thanasis goes in the crowd and is like, "That's right." He's just talking some trash. Is that what you're talking about?
No, like Thanasis is a member of the crowd, right? He talks trash to a player and gets into it with the player courtside. I mean, would anything happen to him? I don't know. I mean, I think it's the fact that Halliburton's dad walked from the stands all the way onto the middle of the court and went after the player. I think that's the difference.
I guess my point is I don't expect it to be apples to apples.
Sure.
If Giannis did the exact same thing, like he provoked the Pacers crowd, he talked trash to them and then nothing happened. I don't expect it. I don't expect him to be suspended indefinitely.
I agree.
It is just wild that it's so like polar opposite of each other. You know what I mean? Like, here's another example. So this happened just a couple of days before the Papa Hallie Giannis thing is Samson Nacua. Okay, he's the brother of Rams receiver Puka Nacua. So Samson Nacua, he plays wide receiver in the UFL for the Michigan Panthers. So the little blurb is, the UFL has suspended Michigan Panthers receiver Samson Nacua after he slapped a fan during an altercation following Saturday's 32-27 loss to the St. Louis Battlehawks. Okay, so the Battlehawks are talking trash.
Yeah.
He got suspended for one game. He's slapping fans in the stands.
Yeah.
He got one game, and he's going to do some community service, which I'm sure is a total joke.
I think that's
like,
now that
imagine if
like what if it wasn't the brother of Puka? Like, what if it was just I don't know, you slap somebody, like, yeah, that's a big thing. Imagine if that happened in the NFL, like, right?
That's what I'm saying, right? Okay, let's say an NFL player slaps a fan. It'd be something similar.
It'd be a huge deal.
I mean, maybe a game.
No, it'd be more than that.
Fine.
You don't think it'd be more than that?
Not much.
Oh,
Not much. How much more do you think it'd be?
It would be a huge story. Like there'd be a fine and a suspension. I don't know how long it would be. I guess it would depend on circumstances and all these things, right?
Okay, so at most a couple of games. That's it. Like, they're not getting. There's no indefinite suspension. They're not banned from the stadium forever. But if a fan goes and slaps a player, gone, out, see ya, never come back again.
If you're a fan and you get a fight in the stands with another fan that has nothing else to do with it, you get kicked out of there, right? And I'm not sure what the banning procedure is, but you might get banned. Although I've always wondered how they can enforce these bans. Like, is a certain usher like 20 games later going to know when I get kicked that I got kicked out 3 months ago?
Well, I mean, the Brewers got that facial recognition entrance thing.
They do. But you don't have to go through that.
No, you don't.
You know, but you're right. If everything becomes facial recognition, is it like a casino when you're on the black book list? They know when you walk in, and you're like, nah, I'm sorry, that's not going to work. This is an interesting tweet from the 414. Comparable.
It'd be funny if it was the player.
The
player's on the ban list, and they have to go Bobby Valentine, to try to get back on the field.
Yeah, and the whole costume and the whole disguise. It's comparable to KD's bodyguard coming on the court. Do you remember that in the Brooklyn series a few years back with the Bucks? KD's bodyguard came on the court, like independent bodyguard, during a altercation during the game. Like, they're getting into it. I think it was Bobby Portis and Durant getting into it during the game. And KD's bodyguard jumps on the court and gets in the middle of it, which was kind of weird because he's like not part of the team or the game. He's just KD's personal bodyguard.
I don't recall that.
Yeah,
I'm sure if I saw a video, I'd be like, oh, yeah, of course. But
I remember Big Dom of the Eagles, getting into it and causing problems.
Big Dom is another, but that's another example. But the Big Dom's a Philly employee, right?
Yeah.
An Eagles employee.
Right.
And he's a star there. They love Big Dom there. Like, he's like God there. Like they don't mess with him. They let him do whatever he wants. So that's kind of a crazy deal. Ron Styles. Go ahead, Brian. Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Was Devontae Adams suspended for shoving the camera guy a couple of years ago? You remember that?
That's right. Yeah. And that was a minor thing.
In
right?
terms
Like
of
what
the
was the whole fallout of that? He's walking off the field at Arrowhead.
Oh, the guy's in his way.
Shoves this guy. Yeah, the guy was in his way. Let a fan. Let the excuse be for the fan. Like, no. I was just going to the end zone, and this freaking player was in my way. I had to shove him down to the ground. He shouldn't have been there.
And that's why I'm
let
thankful.
A fan get away with that.
Right.
Come on.
And that's why I'm thankful Giannis showed restraint. Because when you cross that line into physically, putting your hands on somebody, it's hard to come back from that image for a lot of people. It is. Like Juwan Howard's going to be remembered for smacking Krabenhoff for in the handshake line forever.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way it's going to be.
Ron Artest.
Yeah,
Ron Artest.
Be remembered.
Right.
I just think that part is what's interesting to me is we said this the other day, Armin, was the hater test or the homer test. Like whatever the scenario is, flip it around. And if you're consistent, well, then you're not being a hater or a homer. If you flip the scenario and your stance changes dramatically, it's like you're probably being a hater or a homer. Like you're too emotionally involved. So can we not do this to a degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's an athlete or a fan. So Halliburton's dad goes onto the court. Oh, get him out of there. Banned him, right? Ban him for life. Okay, let's flip it around. Giannis does the equivalent. Giannis goes into the crowd. He talks some trash. No physical altercation. On with life. Are you saying ban him for? You're not saying anything close to that, right? Like that's what's weird to me.
I agree, but I think there's a difference between a spectator and someone that's on actually the product. It's just different.
I get that you should get away with more. We're there
valuable.
to see the athlete.
But
I get it, right? But
in that sense, it's a double standard, maybe. I guess
it's not even remotely similar.
Well,
that's my thing. I'm not saying it should be identical. Yeah. It's not even remotely similar.
Yeah, I would agree with that, right? Because you should have someone. I mean, what about Jokic's brothers in Denver? Like, they're always threatening to knock somebody out during a game, right? We always see videos of them going crazy, but they haven't been kicked out. Have they been asked to not come to Denver Nuggets games? Like
they had to. They had to have violated
it's
something.
It's a little weird because it's your own star player. To me, it's almost like the Pacers aren't afraid of Tyrese's reaction. It's almost like the Pacers know Tyrese. To me, this is an indication that the Pacers don't think Tyrese is that good. If they thought he was the star of their team, they would not risk upsetting him by doing this to his dad. That's what I think too. They don't want to mess with, like, the Bucks aren't going to ask Thanasis not to talk trash to somebody at courtside. The Nuggets wouldn't ask Jokic to calm his brother, to ask his brothers not to come because they're afraid it's going to upset him and then he's going to want to leave. So that's another angle of this that I kind of look at. It's like the Pacers don't care if they upset Tyrese. Also, everybody knows it was wrong, but just the explanation still cracks me up from John Halliburton.
The explanation is.
I know it looked like we were looking like I was staring him down, but it wasn't like that.
No, not like that. I was looking through him.
It might have seemed like I was looking at him, but I really wasn't. I was looking through him.
And here's the other thing: because it's a dad, there's just this innate notion that an elder should know better. Right? It's not a brother, right? It's a dad. So you're like a grown adult. You're the adult in the room. Like, you should know better than to act childish. I think there's something like that too for people that observe this, that consider that to be kind of worse because it's like you're the parent. And I know they're like all grown adults, but it's just still the same thing.
We don't think it's going to come to this, but let's just, let's play this game for a second.
Right.
The Pacers, they win the series against the Cavs.
Okay.
They make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Is Papa Hallie allowed back in?
I think they're going to do it. I think they would like to do it. I think they don't want to. Deep down, they'll feel bad denying a chance for him to watch his kid play.
You know what it would be? It'd be like a superstition type thing at that point.
Sure.
Like, hey, we got the good juju going. We just took down the Cavs, the best record in the East. Like, we can't mess up a good thing.
Can't you just not have him?
What it would be.
Also, not have him sit courtside. Put him in a box somewhere where he's not going to be a problem for anybody. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just don't sit courtside by the court. Like, that's the other thing. But when the NBA started selling more and more courtside seats, they invite this type of activity, and they want that type of activity. Don't mistake yourself, Brian. They like this to a certain extent. to a certain extent.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they like the conversations, they like the focus, but they do not like the potential for something far worse to happen.
Was anyone going to
And that was there. It was there.
Right.
But it could be there with an athlete. How many situations could have ended way worse than they did because an athlete was somewhere they shouldn't have been, or said something or did something they shouldn't have done? It could have went way worse than it did, yet we don't punish the athletes the same way.
No, and listen,
it's just dumb. For anybody that ban him for life, get him out.
No, he shouldn't be banned for life.
He shouldn't have done that. That's just dumb. That's way over the top in terms of
what if Jordan's dad did it? Like, what if James Jordan did something like that? Nobody in the world would have told James Jordan what to do. They
would have said Giannis shouldn't have been there. Giannis was in the wrong spot.
They were not going to let tell James Jordan what to do. Michael,
but also Tyrese Halliburton is nowhere near as good.
That's my point. It's just we have different standards. So, and you're probably right in that sense. It's double standard.
Interesting. All right, we're off and running over here. Coming up next, a miracle was wasted. This is so disheartening. You might be like, okay, that's a little over the. No, not over the top at all. There was a miracle wasted yesterday. We will give you details. He's Armin Sarian. I'm Brian Noen for Billy. It's no BS here on The Game.
Let my top 9 slow, hit it, my remote, sit it in my presidential V12 with the AMG kit and don't quit as I get high.
Underdog Fantasy just became one of the best places to make picks during the basketball playoffs with their new extender promo. Hey, it's Billy Schmidt. The way you play to get bigger boosts each round of the playoffs is with Underdog Fantasy's extender promo. Start a series using your game 1 boost and continue boosting each game to unlock the next one and the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boosts. You get to game 7, a 100% profit boost token if you've been using and boosting each game. Underdog is the leading place to make all your sports picks, and you can now play from your couch here in Wisconsin. Millions of fans have already won billions of dollars making picks on Underdog, so you should be next. To play, download the app, sign up using promo code Billy, and just pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. That's it. Points, assists, rebounds, three-pointers, whatever it is, playing on Underdog is a layup. Download the Underdog app, sign up with promo code Billy, and unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code Billy. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Preset. Save.
We're already a preset in your car, I assume.
Preset number 1.
Never a doubt.
And we've brought it to the iHeartRadio app.
Simply click the button labeled Preset.
Our station gets anchored to the top of your app.
97.3 The Game. Added.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body?
Huh?
That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my superhydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Are you buying or selling? Greg Urchel here from Urchel Real Estate Group, partner of the Drew and KB Show. I've been in the real estate business for over 20 years. I'm a practicing lawyer, so I've seen almost everything there is to see when buying or selling commercial or residential real estate. I've built a trusted team around me to provide our clients with the highest level of service available in this market. We are much more than just a traditional agent. We are Urchel Real Estate Group. Buying or selling? Go to urchelrealestate.com or email me, greg@urchel.com. ERCHULL.com.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
If you or a loved one needs a personal injury attorney, ask around. Lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers, insurance adjusters, refer Warshevsky because we achieve maximum judgments and settlements. Their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
Brian Butch here. Iron Jock Performance Apparel is hands down my favorite. The absolute best feel with the best odor and fabric protection in the industry. With a lifetime guarantee. No questions asked. And now through May 11th, when you buy $50 or more, use promo code SPRING35 to take 35% off your entire order. Plus, Iron Jock will include free socks as a bonus. Go to ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com now through May 11th. On behalf of myself and Paul Hansen, happy Mother's Day, Iron Jock Nation.
KB here. Who doesn't love pizza? I mean, I do. I like to visit my favorite pizza places, but sometimes my craving hits and I don't have time to go out and eat. So I go to my freezer, pull out a Pep's Draft House pizza, because Pep's Draft House pizza isn't one of those just toss a pizza in the oven pizzas. It's made right here in Wisconsin with tons of toppings and real Wisconsin cheese. No one is crushing one of these. Don't believe me? Try one today and make your house a Draft House with Pep's Pizza.
Hey, it's Brian Butch for Window Nation, and right now it's the semi-annual sale, and you can save 60% off a house full of windows. For 2 years, you won't have to worry about a down payment, interest, or monthly payment. That's right. Pay nothing until 2027. Get a free entry door when you buy a house full of windows. That's the difference with Window Nation. Window Nation was recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. So you can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows. Give them a call at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com for the semi-annual window sale.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ORDER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ORDER to 42424. That's ORDER to 42424.
What's going on? It's Tim Allen. It's that weekend. We've been eyeballing Craig Counsell and his Cubs back into American Family Field. What is going to happen after the last pitch tonight? Make the switch. Let's talk about it. Post-game show with Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest here on the game.
Loving you isn't the right thing to do.
It's no BS here on the game. He's Armin Sarian. I'm Brian Noen for Billy.
All right, let's give away some money, Brian. Here's your chance to win some bonus bucks this hour. Win $1,000 by entering this nationwide keyword. Enter the word happy. That's happy now at 973thegame.com.
Man, so let's start off on a positive foot.
All right.
There was a sports miracle that occurred yesterday, and it was tied to the parlay of the day. So we went with, we were aggressive over here. We went with the Cubs in the first 5 innings against Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates, who is a stud.
Yeah.
And so what happens? The Pirates have a 2-0 lead heading into the 5th inning. So the Cubs got to score 2 runs. Got to score 2 runs just to be eligible for the push, right? Just so we can tie and not be dead, all right? Got to score 2 runs against Skeens. This is looking awful. Well, this is how the inning began on 670 The Score.
Here comes the 0-2 by Skeens. Swanson, it's a high fly ball, deep right center field. Cruz giving chase at the track near the wall. He leaps, and this one is gone. Dansby Swanson with a home run the other way to right center field, and the Cubs are on the board. It's now 2-1 Pittsburgh here in the 5th.
even just that is like, holy cow,
Wow.
he just gave up a home run, right? Like
homer off Skeens, rare. Wow, crazy. Okay. Yeah.
It's the second one he gave up all year long.
That's crazy.
He faced 122 batters heading into yesterday. He gave up 1 home run. Okay, so this is wild that the Cubs even hit a home run off of him. So what happens later in the inning? Well, there's a ground out, then there's a strikeout. So we're down to our final out here. We got to score a run just for the push. And it's like, just put us out of our misery. All right, we get it, Paul Skeens. This sucks. Hold that thought for a second. On Marquee Sports Network.
Kyle Tucker into right center field. Reynolds back at the wall, and it is gone. The King has left the castle. Kyle Tucker, home run number 8, second homer of the inning. And just like that, we're tied at 2.
Unbelievable. 2 homers. Now, I don't get the call. The King has left the castle. Can somebody?
The King has left the castle.
What's the point? What's the reference there? Who's the King and what's the castle? I think the King.
They're talking about
the ball that leaving the yard.
I thought it. Maybe it's Kyle Tucker, and he hit a home run, right?
So he left the yard basically, right?
Maybe you're right. Maybe I don't know. I thought the same thing
down there.
Or is Skeens the King that's no longer in his own castle? Like, is Skeens no longer the King? Was that the reference to the King in the castle?
I think it's either Kyle Tucker or the ball.
I think it's got to be Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, and the ball.
Kyle Tucker's left the yard. Yeah.
The King has left the castle.
The King has left the castle.
I think
I just love that.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Tucker.
Yeah.
Oh, but we just tied it up. We tied it up.
We tied it up. Crazy, right? 2 homers, like super rare. He hadn't given up 2 all year, right? So
this is insane. Okay, so we tied it up. We might not lose our bet. The parlay is still alive. We will absolutely happily take a push. We were chasing 2 runs against Paul Skeens on the road, but we're not done yet. 3-0 count here to Suzuki.
Green light him. Say out to left. Did they do it again? They most certainly did. 3rd homer of the inning for the Cubs. Seiya Suzuki, bye-bye. 8th of the year.
Bye-bye.
3-2 Cubs lead.
That
sort of like they're like the 90s ESPN Sports Center anchors trying to do the whole thing again.
So we got it.
It's incredible.
The Cubs led 3-2 after 5. The first leg of the parlay was correct somehow, some way. That is insanity. I would love to know what the odds were of the Cubs scoring just at least 2 runs to tie it up in the top of the 5th.
Must have been
astronomical.
Astronomical to get 3 homers like that in 1 inning. Now, let's be clear. It was only miraculous for us because we had it involved in Billy's parlay of the day. Not that the Cubs took the lead. We don't want that to happen in general.
No,
but
hate that.
Right. That's fine. Yeah.
It was a miraculous occurrence, no doubt about it, and it gave us the first.
But anybody who bet Cubs first 5, that was a sports miracle.
It was sports
miracle. That should not have happened. Skeens gave up 3 homers in 1 inning.
By the way, it's just unbelievable.
So the parlay goes on, right? Next leg, we got Brunson over 27.5 points. And that, just a little taste of how that went.
Jalen Brunson is lethal.
Yeah, it went well. He actually had the game-winning shot on, when it was tied up here with 4.3 seconds left. This is how exciting it was. Well, just so you know what's going on, let's give you an English version here. Here's Mike Breen on MSG.
Down to 12 seconds. Brunson holding. Nick's trying to wait till the end. Brunson puts up a 3. Bang! Bang! Jalen Brunson hits the 3 with 4.3 remaining.
Yeah, he dropped 40. We only needed 28 points, Armin. So a lot of extra credit right there from Brunson.
Indeed. Gave us more than we needed, but we appreciate that.
That leg checks out. So we're down to the final leg. We need the Nuggets team total under 103.5 against the Clippers. Under 103.5. What do they score? 105. We lose by a bucket.
Brutal.
We wasted a miracle.
Absolutely brutal. We did. And that's just, heartbreaking, but on par for us in Billy's parlay of the day. So absolutely brutal finish for us. We were so close. So close. It's a tough one to take.
I don't think you can get closer, man.
No, another one.
You can get closer.
By the way, some people on text line saying they call him King Tuck down there, like King Tut. And that's why he gets the King has left the castle. So the idiom, the king has left the castle, is often used to describe a situation where usually someone known for a specific skill or role, has achieved something significant, often a home run in baseball. I didn't realize that. So there you have it. That's why they use that. But
okay, so which one do you like more? Which bite-sized do you like more?
The king has left the castle.
Okay, there's that. Yeah. And there's this bite-sized cut.
Seiya Suzuki, bye-bye.
I hate them both personally.
They're both ridiculous. No, King, it's okay. He should have done like a say it so or something. Say it so or something like that.
Like the John Sterling thing,
play on words,
theatrical. The
worst part. So the worst part about losing the parlay of the day, not just the way we lost it, being so close, was that the leg that didn't work was the one that helped the Cubs. Like that was just the most brutal way to finish it. So what can you do?
Well, that leg worked.
No, but that
leg was correct.
But if I had to pick one of the 3 legs to lose, that would have been the one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. I got you. You would flip that around a little bit. Yeah, no doubt. I'll tell you what, man. I feel like a boxer that has just taken a bunch of punches right to the gut.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Indeed.
Like the parlay of the day this week has been rough. We have been so close. We've had a winning record all throughout the week, yet we don't have one parlay score here. That's what are we doing?
Just brutal. Just getting demolished right at the end. So
it's all right. We got to keep our spirits high. Got to do that. And we will. Doesn't sound like that with my voice and our energy right now, but we will rally.
We will
rally.
Indeed.
All right, coming up next, let's talk some ball. Okay. Interesting way to navigate around this situation for the pack. We'll give you some details here on The Game.
Don't miss your shot to win $1,000 in bonus bucks.
Bonus bucks.
Listen every hour, weekdays between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Bonus bucks.
When you hear the nationwide keyword, enter it at our website.
Brought to you locally by ARR Recycling. Recycling pays. Go to ARR with your recyclable copper, brass, lead, steel, or aluminum and get cash. Visit them at ARR1938.com or stop in to their West Dallas or Waukesha location. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Miller High Life. Always flavorful, always refreshing, always at the right price. The champagne of beers. Welcome to the High Life. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Save big money now on pre-finished siding at Menards. Update and beautify your home with your choice of 13 timeless colors of pre-finished LP Smart Side engineered siding. It's durable and includes a Sherwin-Williams machine-applied paint warranty. That means no painting for years to come. Save big money today on all LP Smart Side products. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Real feedback from Brookfield and Mequon's Reset Restore MD patient.
My daughter's intravenous ketamine treatments made a significant difference in just 2 weeks.
R&R for Relief, Reset Restore MD, rnrmd.com.
I gave it a shot and I came in and had the procedure done. To me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago.
A lot of law firms claim to be experts at handling injury cases that involve large trucks. But handling one trucking case does not make you an expert on the subject. Experience matters in these cases. One local firm has handled 25 trucking cases which resulted in payments over $1 million each, and hundreds of others as well. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
All right, team, listen up. Merle the Squirrel's here to tell you why Capital's duck cleaning is a game changer.
What did he say?
He said, if you haven't cleaned your ducks in 5 years, you're breathing in all kinds of junk. And unlike those companies who use glorified shop vacs, we use high-powered trucks to clean your ducks the right way.
Yeah, makes sense. Cleaner ducks, cleaner air, healthier home.
Exactly.
Schedule your duck cleaning today and save $200. That's right, save $200.
Call CapitalCares.com.
Churches is serving up all the flavor and all the fun for all our fans. It's a block party, y'all. Thursday, May 8th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. We've got a live DJ, and there will be games and prizes all at 605 Church Street in Watertown.
And you better believe it really is the place to be because we're giving you the chance to win Church's Chicken for a year. So, see you there, Thursday, May 8th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at 605 Church Street. Terms and restrictions apply.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Drew and KB here. Join us at 3 o'clock. We're going to catch up with our buddy Aaron Nagler of Cheesehead TV and talk about the draft and his musical performance at the draft.
And we'll play a fevered game of Figure It Out and talk to Matt Miller, Matt about film.
Join us at 3, Drew and KB.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at Hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. That's Hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game. This hour of No BS is brought to you by Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screaming is about.
Drop it. He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Well, the Milwaukee Brewers were going for the sweep yesterday over the Chicago White Sox, but the White Sox had other plans.
Is high in the air to left field, backing up his Bowers. He keeps going back, and it's gone. Miguel Vargas.
Miguel Vargas hits a 3-run homer, and Brewers end up falling 8-0 to the White Sox. Set up for the series win, finished their longest road trip of the season with a 4-6 record, and now return home to start a series against the Chicago Cubs. Quinn Priester on the mound tonight against Ben Brown.
Brutal, the great Miguel Vargas and a 645 OPS. But hey, this is what I said earlier in the week. When you play a team like the White Sox that are this bad, it's like tough because there's so much pressure to win every game. Because you tell yourself, we can't even lose one to these guys. And the Brewers win the series, but it feels like depressing because they didn't get the sweep. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
Well, Miguel Vargas, in 28 career at-bats against the Brewers, he has 5 home runs.
Crazy.
And he has 10 home runs and 586 at-bats against every other team in his big league career.
He's the Jeff Suppan of Miguel Vargas's. You know, that's he's the Jeff Suppan.
He's
like
the most random, obscure Brewers killer that there is.
Yeah, he's like the David Freese of Jeff Suppan's.
It's crazy to me because we all know it's not the easiest thing to sweep.
No,
this is
of course
the ultimate
not.
example.
Yeah.
If the White Sox put it on you 8-0, you know, it's not the easiest thing to sweep.
And it's like, was it a bad series? Well, no, of course. You won the series. You do this every time, you're in great shape. But it's like, because it was the White Sox, man, they should have won.
They should have, but we're not able to.
At least we didn't go run line in the parlay.
I know.
You know
that would have been
Brewers.
even worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd been way worse.
It would have been, but also not a great night last night. The Milwaukee Admirals in the first round of the Calder Cup playoffs grabbed a 2-0 lead in the second period, then gave up 2 goals in the third, then lost in overtime 3-2. Armin, that had to have been tough to watch.
Brutal, man, because the Admirals came out and played so well and so physical in the first period, trying to set the tone for the series. There was some amazing hits going on, amazing checking, fights right away in the first period. Took control with 2 goals in the second. Looked to be on their way to a Game 1 win, but unfortunately couldn't hold on, lost it in overtime. The crowd was great last night. The vibes were great. We had a hog eating contest. We did everything we could. Unfortunately, couldn't get the it was great.
How'd that go?
Some great Saz's pulled pork. It was messy. Let's just say that. But heartbreaking loss last night at the arena. But listen, it was only Game 1. Back on the horse for Game 2 Saturday night. And unlike Bob in Minneapolis, I believe they're going to win Saturday night and come back and win this series. So let's go Admirals and get out there and support your team. Come on now. Let's get this team a split before they go to Rockford. Get out there and support your team and get some Admirals tickets for Saturday night.
Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely.
Got to get ready for Game 2. Get fired up for the boys. It's going to be a great time because hey, it's only one game.
It's only one game.
They'll come back.
Indeed, it's only
They'll
one
get
game.
Things going.
Yep.
So
long series.
That's exactly going to be coming up. And also this weekend, the biggest day in horse racing, the Run for the Roses, the Kentucky Derby runs tomorrow, and the field has been narrowed from 20 down to 19 horses. The horse Rodriguez had to be scratched from the 4th position, and Grande has been scratched with a slightly cracked heel. So, be sure to adjust your betting decisions for this race. But Grande has been scratched with an injury. He was in the 10th position to start. Baeza moves into the field from the also eligible list, but that was the only horse remaining. So instead of the usual 20 horses, we're down at 19 at the Run for the Roses.
Already not getting our money's worth. Well, of course, Grande, you had a big ticket on that. I know, Brian. No, so kind of a bummer there for you.
You know, the funny thing, man, is I know absolutely nothing about horse racing. The only time I bet horses, I did radio in the Albany area, like upstate New York, Saratoga.
Yeah.
Some people consider that the unofficial 4th leg of the Triple Crown, if you will, right? Like it's a big deal over there. And so we would broadcast there on Fridays. And of course I would bet on the ponies after. I didn't know what I was doing. And it was like very, very little because I had no clue. I don't know how anyone like legitimately handicaps horses.
I'm just picking based on names.
Names, obviously. But you know, Brian, those guys, when they get into one of the race books, those guys are not like sports bettors necessarily, where we kind of, we're cheering for games. We're excited. We're just chilling out. Those guys are absolutely grinding away with their, their tan jackets. They're like, they seem like the professors of the race book. They've got their glasses on. They've got their race sheets. They've got their notes they're taking all day. They're just grinding away from sun up to sundown. And it's absolutely like, just technical the way they work. You can just see those guys in the race book. So I don't know what it is, but the people that know seem to know because those guys are grinding away.
We have some fantastic names though in this year's Kentucky Derby field.
I want to hear these.
Yeah. Let's go. In the first position, Citizen Bull.
That sounds tough. It's a Bob Baffert horse.
Yeah, it's Bob Baffert horse.
Right, so probably cheating.
Probably.
Probably good. Oh, sorry.
Probably, but I mean that inside track is not the most favorable one for these horses. Neo Equos in the 2 spots. Final Gambit.
That's a cool name, Final Gambit. I like that.
American Promise. I like that.
All right.
Admire Daytona.
Oh, for all your NASCAR fans.
Yeah,
out there.
I think that's one Billy might have some money on.
Admire Daytona.
Yeah, that horse is actually from Japan.
I love this next one.
I'm random.
Luxor Cafe.
Yeah, there we
7
go.
spots.
Luxor Cafe got to be my horse. I love the Luxor.
Gotta be.
Of course, Luxor Cafe probably getting bad odds on that. Probably getting a bad deal on that.
15-1. 15-1 are the odds on Luxor Cafe.
Well, a meal at the Luxor is not great value. So,
just saying, the father of Luxor Cafe,
okay,
American Pharaoh.
Oh, American Pharaoh, Triple Crown winner, the legend.
Yeah, that's Luxor Cafe's dad.
Who's laughing now? Maybe I'll have to put a ticket on Luxor Cafe. But my favorite's number 8, journalism.
Number 8, journalism.
Journalism.
Yeah.
That's and he's the favorite. He's the favorite.
He's the favorite
right now.
3-1.
Listen, we need journalism. This is great.
Journalism needs a win.
Name journalism. This is for all the writers and media people.
Big
out there.
J journalism.
Let's go.
All the journalists are putting their money in that one. We got Burnham Square. This is one of my favorites. Flying Mohawk.
That's a good one.
Fantastic name.
That's a good one.
Only cool if the horse actually has it, though. If the horse is not wearing a mohawk on its mane, what's the point? Like, you got to have a mohawk with a name like Flying Mohawk, right?
Yeah. I mean, with their manes,
I had a mohawk for a couple of weeks.
How'd you like? Did you just a couple of weeks?
It's fine. Yeah, just a couple of weeks. Tried it out.
All right.
I dyed it blue. I had a blue no hawk is what I went with for
Brian No Hawk. So. I get it. Yeah, the No Hawk.
There we go.
That seems like something
you should try
it. Do. Yeah, I'm good.
Scratch it off the list. Yeah.
Okay.
Then we got East Avenue, Publisher, Tiztastic, Render Judgment.
Oh, that's intense.
Render Judgment's a tough one. Yeah. Coal Battle. I like that.
All right, not bad.
Sandman.
Well, that's a tough horse.
Yeah.
Sandman.
Yeah. Here comes the Sandman.
Yeah, not necessarily named for Enter Sandman for Metallica, but because he's a big fan of, similar to Matt Schneidman, big fan of Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
Who always came out to Enter
Makes
Sandman.
sense. Okay.
Then we got Sovereignty in the 18th spot. Chunk of Gold. Hoping to win Chunk of Gold.
That sounds cool. Chunk of Gold's a cool sounding horse name. That
and hey,
cool.
I mean, if he wins at 30-1 odds, I mean, you can win a Chunk of Gold. Absolutely. Owen Almighty and Baeza there in the last spot in
there
21.
You go. There's all of your horses there in the Kentucky Derby field.
Yeah.
That field, like when you compare it, Brian, to like some of the other horse racing fields, obviously Preakness and Belmont, the ones we watch, that seems like a massive, massive field. Like all the horses have to get in the gate. It's just so many horses for one race.
Man, I'll tell you what, these sports books, you should be able to, this is just a random thing. You should be able to search type in Kentucky Derby or whatever you're looking at odds for it. And I don't know, it would take you there.
It's not working for you there.
Can we maybe, I don't know, can we work the bugs out here? And that's not a shot at any, this is just sports books in general. Like
you have to go to the race
they're
book
making
section.
So much money. If I have to really work, and how many bets have never been placed because somebody got on their phone and said, all right, I want to bet on the Kentucky, and couldn't figure it out. And they're like, the hell with it. How do you not have it? Right? You got to work the bugs out of that thing.
I mean,
have that?
Are you having problems with that? I didn't realize that. I guess it should be on the top. Like you should be able to click on it, be like, this is the one everyone's betting. So yeah, you shouldn't have to go hunting for it. But I would think so too.
Man, you got to hunt a little bit over here. It's like it's just kind of odd how they have it laid out. But yeah, no, I love some of the names here. Fun stuff. Would you if you had, I was thinking about this before the show.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a sports genie, okay, that would grant you 3 wishes, you can attend whatever sporting event you want. Now, we're going to take football, basketball, and baseball out of the running.
Okay.
Like the mainstream sports.
Yeah.
So you're not going to those. All right. We're talking, golf, auto racing, boxing, anything that's not football, basketball, baseball. Is there anything that just jumps to the top of the list for you where you're like, oh, I got all expenses paid. I get to show up at whatever it happens to be. Is there something on your list there, Armin? The sports genie shows up and it's like, what do you want? What do you want over here? What'll it be? Why doesn't the genie ever have a New York accent? I think we should get that going.
It's always like a New York bookie. Like, you know what I mean? It's always like,
I can make that happen for you. Where do you want to go? Huh?
Yeah, it's a great question. Chime in on, obviously, in the NickLayLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. For me, it's always been the Olympics. I've talked about it. I love the Olympics. I would love to attend one sometime. I don't care what event it is. I think the Olympics are an amazing event. I've always loved watching. And I think the Olympics would definitely be up there. World Cup finals, another one. World Cup would be cool. And obviously the Derby.
Yeah.
I'm just not as much of a NASCAR guy. A lot of people would say Daytona, which is cool. It's probably more accessible than a lot of these compared to like Masters or something.
Have you gone? Have you ever been to a big race before?
Nothing.
Billy did.
No NASCAR. Yeah. Billy went with Pops to Daytona this year. That's pretty cool. I never went to a NASCAR race.
I heard he came across just an unruly spectator, that was very, very drunk and sick at the time. Did you hear about that, Armin? I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
It's too bad he came across that guy and had to deal with that.
You have to deal with knuckleheads every now and then. It happens, but Daytona would be up there. I've gone to Brickyard. I've been to the Brickyard 400, Indianapolis 500. If you can see a big race, man, it really is cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. But I like what you've got on your list. Olympics, World Cup would have to be up there because it's just the spectacle of the whole thing.
Sure.
I've never been to any golf event. I've never been to any type of PGA event, let alone the Masters. I love to see the Masters, but nothing. Not even like the Nabisco Shake Weight Open or whatever. Right? Like nothing. Have you gone? Have you seen anything?
No, I haven't either. And we've had a lot of great ones in town here. We had the U.S. Open here with the Ryder Cup. It's not that I wouldn't like to be there for one of those big events, but I have long had the take that I don't think golf is a quality live viewing experience. I think it's much better on TV. I had this take right just now during Masters, and Zabe didn't like it. Of course, Zabe was very offended by that, which I get. But I just don't think if you're in a big crowd with a lot of people, behind a lot of people on one hole, out of 18, there's no other sport like that where we only have that viewing experience. So I don't think it'd be a great live viewing experience. Not to say I wouldn't go, but I'd much rather go to the U.S. Open tennis tournament or Wimbledon and watch a match. I think that would be fantastic to be in Arthur Ashe Stadium to watch a match at night in New York. That's another one for me that would be pretty awesome. I would love to do that. And then the Derby would be fun just for the party. But if you're not a sports guy, if you're not a sports fan, you love the Derby. You love the spectacle, the party, the outfits, and the social engagement of it. But if you're into sports, the Derby itself is I know there's other races on the card all day. I get it's a full day of racing, but if you're into the party and not the sports, it's great because it's 2 minutes of sport and 8 hours of partying. But if you're into sports, it's like you wait all day and then it's over like that. It would be tough for me.
Greatest 2 minutes in sports, man.
Yeah, with you being a tennis guy, right? Think of the sports genie again. If you're going to one of the Grand Slams, right? It's Wimbledon, right? What would be second?
I think U.S. Open.
Where would you go with second?
I think U.S. Open.
I'd go
second.
Australian Open.
I think Australian Open is the most boring one there is. It's hardcore.
Are you serious?
Australia would be cool, I guess, to go to, but it's just another hardcore tournament. I don't think Australian Open has any sort of like the panache and the pageantry of any of the other ones. That's just my opinion.
I agree with that.
You have grass.
I'm thinking more ambiance. I'm thinking being there. Australia is awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to be
there. I think that'd be great.
To go on vacation in Australia, it would be cool. Like that's different. You're talking about like Australia as a trip. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
For the flying spiders.
I don't know. I just don't think maybe it's because always, Brian, the Australian Open's been in the middle of the night. And I've never watched it because it's like in the middle of the night, and I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. to watch it.
Oh,
so I don't have the
memories.
My
girl Madison Keys, Armin.
She's awesome. Keys. She's awesome. Oh. I love watching tennis. She's awesome. But like the Australian Open has been the hardest one of the Grand Slams to watch, so I never have memories from it. I was never able to watch it. That's just not.
Yeah.
It's never been a thing. But
she came through for me against Swiatek. She was huge in the final.
And I know you like betting tennis, so that's a big thing too. I know you like to do it.
I will from time to time.
It's a great sport to bet on. It's the third most bet sport in the world.
Okay, what do you go with the majors in golf? All right, you would put the Masters at the top.
Masters is number one,
and then what's second?
I think it's tough
the Open Championship.
Well, U.S. Open and the Open Championship travel, so it's not like you're going to the same place every year. So someone could say, when it's in Pebble Beach. Or when it's at, pick a course, Quill Hollow, I don't know, or like same with the Open Championship. So in that sense, is it the PGA? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
No,
it's
I'd go Open Championship.
I think you're probably right.
If I'm going there, yeah.
And like
granted a wish, you got to go there.
And like the history of the links courses and going there and just the history of golf in the UK, that'd be pretty awesome. I could see that happening. Like I said, it's tough for me because that's one that travels, but I would put a lot of those over a live golf event. And people are out there going, "You're crazy right now." They're saying it right now. People love golf. I know they're saying like, "Armin, how could you say that?" But there's many more events that are a quality live experience than golf, in my opinion. That's a hot take.
We were talking about the Admirals here. I know you're very dispirited here. It's
tough
loss last night. I get it, but we were talking to our guy, John Greenberg, yesterday, right? Get some promotion going on, get on out there, go see the Admirals, that sort of thing. And I ran across, we said this yesterday, where he's a a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. Like he would, if he were a hockey player, what would your goal song be? He said Cold Shot by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Sure. Great song, great choice by him. In this same interview, it was like a Q&A. They were just throwing random questions at him. I thought this was funny. They said, would you rather walk around with a salad for a head or broccoli for arms, and why?
A salad for
and
a
our
head.
guy Greedy, salad for a head or broccoli for arms. He goes, broccoli because I despise salad. How about that? Greeny hates salad.
It's off brand. I mean, how could you be Greeny and hate salad? And that's weird.
That's right.
Because isn't it weird to hate salad? Because aren't you just saying you hate garden vegetables with dressing on them? What does it mean? What does it mean to hate salad? Salad's a group of things.
It's a strange take.
Strange.
Yeah, I love salad.
I'd prefer salad to broccoli.
That's the other thing.
Absolutely.
You're talking about another vegetable, and you can at least put dressing. Plus, how would salad be a head? Like, is the head the actual lettuce? Is the hair the lettuce
hair?
Or is your entire head just like, is the nose the tomato? Is it like a snowman? I don't get that question.
Teeth croutons? Like,
strange
question. It's a random question, man. I don't know if it's from the NFL Combine or what, where they have these weird questions, or like Super Bowl Media Day. It's probably more of like a Media Day type thing.
I guess, but I don't get
this. Play the same game with broccoli for arms. How would that work? Yeah, broccoli arms.
It'd be great if you, I guess, were an artist. You can have brushes all the time. You could brush things all the time. One of the weirdest things I've ever thought about.
Is it Friday?
Trees. It's got to be Friday.
Like, it's like a loopy Friday, you know. I like it. I love doing loopy stuff. All right. We got to get to right around the corner. We got to get to. It's an interesting one because the headline that you read might not give you the actual story that's going on here. Okay, that's the best way I could describe it in a vague way. So you might stick around and listen to what we have to say coming up next. But we'll talk some ball. We'll get to the Packers right around the corner. He's Armin Sari, and I'm Brian Nolan for Billy. It's No BS here on The Game.
My baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and this I know for sure.
This hour of No BS is brought to you by Happy Place Hemp and HappyPlaceHemp.com. Relax. Happy Place Hemp is there for all your hemp needs, whether it's Delta 8, Delta 9 recreational gummies or CBN CBD gummy, which can be a part of your everyday life. Or you're a seltzer fan, but you don't want any alcohol. The Drift Seltzer, a THC CBD infused seltzer, is right for you. You're always going to get 25% off when you use promo code Billy at HappyPlaceHemp.com. That's Billy at checkout at HappyPlaceHemp.com.
At The Game, we think of this as a big family.
This is a special, special team. I just love these guys.
Coming in June, an event so big, it'll feel like a family reunion.
You gotta love it. We got everybody. Woo-woo.
Friday, June 13th. Join us at AmFam Field for Brewers and Cardinals and one epic pregame tailgate for just $45.
Say what?
That's right, $45. Get your tickets now at 973thegame.com/Brewers. Brewapalooza is presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest.
Redefine Realty kicked off our Crave Genius inspired campaign with iNet. Real estate for winners, redefinerealty.com.
Every home seller will win, achieving maximum sale price, and every buyer can win by simply outbidding competitive bids. Simply brilliant.
Marketing for winners, creativegeniusmarketing.com.
Hey, it's Armin, and I have to tell you, I could not be happier with our new 97.3 The Game broadcast studio built by Reamer Remodel. It's been a game changer, all thanks to the Reamer Remodel team. RIEMER remodel.com.
The I-94 rivalry is more than just bragging rights. Get to the ballpark for Brewers-Cubs action May 2nd through the 4th. Spend the weekend defending your turf and defending our crown. Get your tickets now at Brewers.com.
I can see the breath inside my house. This is how horror movies start.
First, the cold seeps in. Next thing you know, you're spooning your cat for warmth.
I tried it. He bit me.
Jason, come on, man. You need a new furnace. Don't you know that Capital is giving away the furnace when you get a new AC?
Giving as in free?
Yeah, but call Capital before this turns into the horror version of Frozen. Call Capital today and get a free furnace with a new AC.
Fashion service, you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
Did you know that every 65 seconds, someone in the U.S. is developing Alzheimer's disease and 1 in 3 seniors are dying of it or another dementia? University of Wisconsin-Madison researchers are trying to improve the lives of people affected with innovative treatments, early diagnosis, and comprehensive support for families and caregivers. Together, we can improve lives and build a future with Alzheimer's disease in Wisconsin and beyond. Visit goalsforacure.org.
Drew Wilson from 97.3 The Game here. We're happy to introduce Pep's Draft House Pizza as the official pizza of the Timeout Sports Lounge. Pep's has generous toppings, Wisconsin cheese, 15 different varieties, and craft beer pairings. KB and I think it's a perfect fit. Make your house a draft house and try one today.
Wisconsin fishermen, your fishing boat battles harsh sun, algae, and grime on every trip out. Get it protected with the ceramic coating from Charisma Customs. Our ceramic coating is extremely strong, blocks 100% of UV rays, resists oxidation, and repels water. Your boat will stay clean, slick, and easy to maintain. Less scrubbing, more fishing. Keep your boat looking great season after season. Enjoy the water and not the work of owning a boat. Call 262-444-2525 or visit charismacustoms.com to protect your boat today. Charisma Customs Delafield.
It's Brian Butch for Window Nation. Feeling pressured to go with the expensive guys who want you to overspend on windows? You have options with Window Nation semi-annual sale. You'll get 60% off and a free entry door with a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings on top of quality vinyl windows. Their windows also come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving in the future. Hurry, sale ends soon. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Well, April showers have certainly brought out not necessarily the best of weather for golf, but now we're heading into May. As we welcome in the month of May, the warmer days are coming closer into view. We celebrate the great game with great guests like Clay Simpson from Sky Golf. Jeff Levering is going to join us from the Milwaukee Brewers and Jeremy Santana from True Golf. All that and some warmer temperatures. Teeing up at 8 a.m. on 97.3 The Game.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets, place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Live from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Rima Remodel. This is No BS with Billy and Saria.
I've waited for this. I'm so excited.
On The Game.
All right, here's your chance to win some bonus bucks. Win $1,000 by entering this hour's nationwide keyword. Enter bank. That's bank right now, 97throughthegame.com.
It is No BS here on The Game. He's Armin Sarian. I'm Brian Noen for Billy. Okay, so it's always interesting when you see these headlines of fifth-year options, whether they're exercised or declined. So for the NFL, this is going back to the 2022 NFL draft. So these players are 3 years in to their deals, right? These first-round picks. And so you have to choose, are you exercising the fifth-year option after this next season, right? After the upcoming season, you're exercising the 5th year. So a lot of teams are doing it. Some teams are not. They're declining. One of the teams declining the 5th year option is the Packers. They're declining linebacker Quay Walker's 5th year option, but they're looking to sign him to an extension. So it's one of those deals where you just see the headline and it's like, oh, whoa. They're declining the 5th year option. That didn't work out. Bust city over here. And it's not always the case as the Packers are looking to retain Quay Walker. So it's just funny how that works.
It is
kind of playing the game. It's a negotiating type thing. It doesn't mean that you're dissatisfied or it's bust city. It's not an automatic.
You also don't necessarily know if the Packers, they say things, but do they mean what they say in terms of we like this guy, he's in our long-term plans? Basically, the report by Rob Demovsky is the Packers are not picking up the 5th year option on Quay Walker. However, as GM Brian Gutekunst said earlier this offseason, they would like to sign him to a contract extension, perhaps even before the season begins. Walker remains very much in their long-term plans. And there was also a report, obviously, the Packers did pick up the 5th year on Devontae. So you see those two things, and you're right. The first thought is, wow, they like Devontae Wyatt more than Quay. They don't like Quay. They don't want to pick up the option. But as we were talking about a little bit, I know, Dave, you were talking about it before the show. They'd rather not pay him the linebacker money that outside linebackers and inside linebackers get. They would like to renegotiate an extension that's a different rate, right? Basically.
Yeah, because with the 5th year option for linebackers, the outside linebackers and inside linebackers are all lumped into the same thing. So the 5th year option price is the same.
Yeah.
For edge rushers and off-ball linebackers. So for inside linebackers, you're almost never going to see that 5th year option picked up because no one wants to pay that kind of price for an inside. I mean, he'd be like a top 5 paid inside linebacker in the league if they took him on that 5th year option.
And it's similar to what happens with the franchise tag, right, Brian? We saw this with Jimmy Graham a few years ago, where he was going to be franchise tagged as a tight end, but he wanted to argue that he should have been paid as a wide receiver because he performs as a wide receiver more, or functionally he's more of a wide receiver, and therefore, of course, he'd make a lot more money as a wide receiver on the franchise.
Yeah, because the 5th year thing, it's more slotted. It's more of a slotted thing. But yeah, definitely for the franchise tag, you'd be making, an average of the top guys. So yeah, I think it's interesting how it works. It's also, listen, sometimes it does show you like, yeah, it didn't work out, bust, not good, bad pick, failed experiment over here. Because the list of, this is the company that Quay Walker is in, of some options being declined. And it doesn't mean he's neck and neck with them, right? But that's where it is some of it is where it was just a bad pick, like Evan Neal with the Giants offensive lineman. Hasn't worked out of Alabama.
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson.
Yeah.
Right? Like the wide receiver now with the Eagles. That has not worked out. Kenny Pickett is on this list. He was the only quarterback in the 2022 draft that was taken. And now he's with the Cleveland Browns. He's on his 3rd team? He was with the Eagles as a backup. He threw a pass in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like a lot of people lost prop bets off of Kenny Pickett throwing a pass in garbage time.
And I think for a lot of people, guys like Quay Walker and Devontae, picks 22 and 28 in 2022, I think for a lot of people, jury's still out on both of these guys. Devontae's played well at times. Quay Walker's played well at times. Also has had some frustrating moments for Packer fans at times. Has been thrown out of games and that stuff. The play's been inconsistent. I think that's what you get when you get picks at this level of the draft, is you get hits, misses, and you get guys in the gray area that you really can't say for sure are they worth that second contract or not. What is a success and what isn't? So many people always say, that's why I always said last week as we approach the draft, and everyone talks about drafting for need and more to the needs. I always said it's not important to find needs as much as it is to find the great players in the draft, because you take a great player over a gray area starter any day of the week, right? So are you going to be happy with a guy? You said Jahan Dotson. He might have been filling a need at the time, but even if you had didn't have receivers, you'd rather have a great player somewhere else than Jahan Dotson. So these guys are not, it's a very inexact science when projecting with the draft and everything like that. And when we start analyzing them 3-4 years later and start thinking about things like 5th-year options and extensions, it's hard to discern, are they worth it or not? Some teams make mistakes as well. They get off of guys after 4 years. They're happy with letting them go, and they turn out to bloom somewhere else. Terrell Buckley is an example I can think of in my head, the Packers from years back. Played better when he left.
You didn't think he was holding it down with the Dolphins over there?
I did. That's my point. I think the Packers drafted Terrell Buckley. and 4 years were kind of underwhelming, I think. You know,
Gotcha.
it's hard to remember, but they let him walk, and he turned out to have a good career somewhere else.
Not bad.
George
Not bad.
Teague as well. So
yeah, I thought you were saying it the other way around.
no,
That's
no.
why
I think that's what makes it a tough analysis. It's almost like the second draft in a lot of ways. The draft happens, and then 4 years later you have to make decisions on these guys. The Packers got a great year out of Nick Perry in a contract year. They signed him to a deal. He was a first-round pick. Okay, great. This guy seemingly panned out, but it was just the 1 year they paid him, and he wasn't the same ever since.
Sure. Well, it's happened. I mean, look at Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, now in Tampa.
Great
played
example.
very well in Tampa. Yeah. So, yeah, doesn't mean you're a bust if it doesn't work out with your first team. But I'll tell you what, all these teams drafting in the first round, you're hoping for impact. You're hoping for, hey, we got an upper echelon guy, not there have been some injuries, this, that. Yeah, we're still sort of committed. Yeah, it's tough. You're hoping for top of the line. And how about this? Like, Treylon Burks is on this list. He's the next guy listed after Quay Walker, and the Titans are not picking up his 5th-year option. Think about that. The Eagles didn't pay A.J. Brown, who's now crushing it with the Eagles, and instead they drafted Treylon Burks, and that he's done hardly anything. And yeah, you could look at the quarterback play over there, but still not the greatest decision to be like, we don't want to pay A.J. Brown. Let's go cheap. Yeah, well, sometimes you get what you pay for.
And it's tough.
It does work out that way.
It's tough because you start committing money to these players, and then the way you judge them is totally different. I mean, the Packers have drafted guys in the first round that have had stretches of good play and gotten a second contract. And if I told you the Packers, have first-round players that they're giving a second contract to, your thought is, that those guys worked out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really sure that a lot of people feel like Quay Walker deserves a second contract. Now, Quay Walker has had stretches of good play. He can do a lot of things in the defense. Maybe the way we analyze them, the all 22 Warriors, as I call them, get on their tape and they look on Twitter and they post, might not know exactly what these guys are supposed to do. But there's going to be a subsection of people that say, we give Quay Walker more money, and I'm already upset with the way he plays. So, Devontae Wyatt's another example. And Billy talks about this. You turn on the tape, Devontae Wyatt has great stretches of play. He's wrecking interiors. But for some reason or another, that consistent level of play in terms of dominance from our D-line or our front is not there with him and guys like Kenny Clark, who you have paid as much as you think it should for the money that you've paid, and said, okay, we got him on a second contract. We must have one of the top 5 guys. And then you look around and say, well, wait, maybe we don't. And maybe that's what's keeping us from becoming a great team.
Well, I think that's the other interesting part here is we spend all this time talking about the NFL draft.
Yes.
And we all acknowledge how difficult it is to evaluate players properly and also sort of project how they're going to be in this particular environment, like this team, this roster, this talent around, this supporting cast. It's really, really difficult. But moving forward, I don't think we spend enough time talking about the decisions of, do you extend someone, right? Like, think about that, where you could say, all right, he's been like decently productive. Not like, oh my gosh, wow, absolutely. Where do we sign the second contract? Sign us up immediately. But pretty good. But it's like, it leaves something to be desired. Well, then what? Are you extending him on potential? It's a really tough thing to do,
and
where
risky.
The potential is there. The production is lacking. Right. We all spent all this time on the draft and what you shouldn't do. But those second contracts, there are a lot of them where it's like, man, I could make a good argument to extend or to not extend. That's really tricky as well.
Very tricky. And it's also tricky because when you start committing that much cap space, it's more of a risk, right? So you say to yourself, listen, you might have been on the precipice of becoming a upper echelon player at your position. If we pay you and you're not actually playing great, then we've got a problem. So it becomes a bigger risk as well for teams.
All right, Armin, our guy, we got Dan in West Bend wants to check in. Dan, you're on the game, man. What's going on? How you doing today?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. I'm just getting over a cold, so I'm a little raspy. But I really wanted to know what kind of appetizers Armin's going to have at his party, and is he going to have his chili available?
Oh, what party is that, Dan? What party are you referring to?
Well, it's Kentucky Derby party.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not having a Kentucky Derby party this year. Should I have one, Dan? I've never really done that. Is that like the thing?
Yeah.
Is that the thing to do? Should I have like a Kentucky Derby party? Invite all my closest friends to come out, wear crazy hats, dress in suits, hang out all day, and watch a 2-minute race? Because that's basically what it is.
You can't tell me that Laura doesn't have a couple hats that she would love to wear to that.
I would imagine she does.
I'll bring my own chili too, if it'll help the cause.
All right. Well, I don't plan on having one, but if I do, I'll definitely invite you, Dan. All right, buddy.
Oh, I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
All right, bud. Thanks for
There you
calling.
go. Very nice.
Kentucky Derby
That's
party. Have you ever? Is that the thing anymore? Are you getting invited to those, Brian? Is that what's happening these days?
You know what's
I haven't
funny?
been invited to one. I don't think ever.
You know what's funny is so my guy Bill Krackenberger, professional sports handicapper. We do a show on Sundays,
and he knows racing, right? He knows racing. I think
he doesn't.
No?
He doesn't. You've listened to Crack long enough where
Sure.
this is a total Crack response where he'll give you the whole breakdown. He's like, oh, no, you can't beat it. The odds, the this, the that. And I don't even know what he's talking about. But he's basically like, can't be beaten. Don't bother.
Okay.
So, no, he's not a big horse racing bettor. But our guy Russ lives in Vegas. So Russ kind of works for iHeart, kind of works for BetMGM. And so he had a big part in putting the countdown shows together on the weekends on Fox. And so anyway, Crack says on the show last week, he's like, oh yeah, Russ invited me over for a Kentucky Derby party. And I'm like, oh, must have got the invitation lost in the mail. Not cool enough to be invited to the Russ shindig over. What's up with that, Armin?
I don't know. Maybe they think you don't own enough like suits and hats and like crazy pastel colored clothing. Do you think that's the reason? Tough look, though, not getting invited, man.
That's not cool at all. I'm in town. What's up with that?
Maybe he doesn't know that. Or maybe it's a situation where he's like,
I don't know if we want this Brian guy hanging
we don't
around
want Brian
at
here.
a party. Just going to be a big
Right.
downer.
Or maybe he knows you don't want to actually spend a day doing that. So he's like, I'm going to do him a favor by not inviting him. I already heard that one before.
I would be thrilled to go over, hang out,
Well,
Russ
maybe
would
he's
be
listening.
a nervous wreck. Russ loves to bet the ponies. He's
Oh,
all
man.
over it.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe he's listening and he'll feel bad and send you a courtesy invite now.
Yeah,
a pity
have some
invite.
hors d'oeuvres.
Did you want the
mercy
pity? You
invite,
want the
yeah.
pity invite, the mercy invite?
Pity invite.
Or maybe
Yeah,
he's so
gosh.
embarrassed of like how much he sweats these races, he doesn't want to be around anybody.
Could be.
Yeah.
Who knows what the reasoning is?
Like
but,
maybe
yeah.
maybe the party is like it's his party, but really he just stays in the basement by himself until the races are over and he emerges.
Probably a nervous wreck, I
Yeah.
would imagine. Okay, we've got a couple of things here to do. Coming up next, I learned 2 things yesterday that I think are pretty cool.
Okay.
You might not be aware of these things either, but I think fun facts. Well, we'll throw them your way coming up next. He's Armin Sarian. I'm Brian Noen for Billy. It's no BS here on The Game.
Your less than truckload freight deserves full professional attention. Turn to Packer Freight for big-time logistics expertise on even the smallest of freights. Whether shipping a single pallet or multiple skids, Packer Freight uses advanced systems to analyze your costs and transit times across the country so your LTL moves smarter, faster, and more effectively. Bottom line, never pay too much for LTL freight that spends too long in transit. PackerFreight.com. Born of grit, built for freight.
Coming up Friday on the Mike Heller Show, Trevor Thomas with me, Nick Brusewitz, one more time before Mike makes his return from sunny California. We'll dive into Brewers versus Cubs, first series of the year. Hit on the Packers' decision on Quay Walker and everything else you got to know. The Mike Heller Show, Friday at noon.
Hey guys, Billy Schmidt, and I want to let you in on a little secret. It's my friends at Milwaukee Weight Loss. They know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with their doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program that helps you lose weight fast and easy, naturally and safely, without taking drugs and without having to inject something into your stomach once a week. There's no prepackaged meals, no bars or shakes, and no exercising even required. Their program helps you reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good, and their coaches are there for ongoing support during their 4-month commitment. That's it at Milwaukee Milwaukee Weight Loss. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com today and schedule your free consultation. Best part is their program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. That's up to a pound a day. Schedule your free consultation today by giving them a call at 262-433-4008. That's 262-433-4008, or visit them online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. And when you sign up, make sure you tell them that you heard about it on the game and that Billy Schmidt sent you. Results may vary.
Attention Badger fans, memories are made at Camp Randall, so bring your group and be part of the action this fall. Whether you're planning your team outing or just looking to get together with your crew, Badger football group experiences are your ticket to unforgettable moments and new traditions. Take advantage of discounts and exclusive game day experiences when you lock in your group tickets today. Visit UWBadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. That's UWBadgers.com or 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
Potholes and asphalt deterioration from winter freezing may slow parking lot or driveway traffic down nicely, yet potholes and asphalt are an accident waiting to happen. Mud Tech 262-337-0934 permanently fixes asphalt with state-of-the-art technology. Holes in asphalt only get worse if left unchecked. The cost of having Southeastern Wisconsin's premier concrete releveling asphalt repair technicians, MudTech, 262-337-0934. Restore your paved surfaces today is a fraction of the cost of replacement tomorrow. MudTechWorks.com, 262-337-0934.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
A few more showers today with a high near 58 inland, 52 lakeside. Northeast turning east breeze at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Isolated showers tonight, low near 40. Should be 56 inland, 50 lakeside on Saturday with sun by the afternoon. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Argo Glass and Windows.
No need to replace windows when you can repair them. Argo Glass and Windows, always offering free estimates using high-quality materials with long-term warranties. So there's no need to replace windows when you can repair them. Visit ArgoWindowRepair.com.
Our favorite 4-letter word. Free. Free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Milwaukee's FM home for sports.
You can't help but be excited.
97.3 The Game.
Dum da dum da dum da dum da da da. Dum da dum da dum da dum da da.
It is No BS here on The Game. It's Armin Sari, and I'm Brian No in for Billy. So I learned something yesterday. You guys might have known this before. I'm curious, Dave, if you knew this. You're the big baseball guy.
Oh, yeah.
So as I was hoping for our first parlay leg to come through, I was hoping for the Cubs to score 2 to tie it up in the 5th, 3 to take the lead in the 5th. We had a first 5 pick.
Unbelievably.
We had a pick on the Cubs. I mean, and they scored 3 runs and 3 homers off Paul Skeens. So I'm watching the bottom of the 5th. And this is what they said on Marquee Sports Network about Pirates player O'Neal Cruz, who's a pretty good player, but I didn't know this about him. Check it out.
O'Neal Cruz is his first name because of Paul O'Neal. His dad was a huge Paul O'Neal fan.
I had no
idea. Didn't know that.
It's kind of cool.
Dave, were you aware of that?
I remember hearing that story when he first came up as a prospect. Everyone's like, "What? Like, why O'Neal?" And yeah, it was the Paul O'Neal reference.
Is it weird at all that it's spelled differently? Wouldn't you just go all in at that point? right?
Yeah,
think.
that
I don't
makes
know.
sense. What's up with that? Yeah, I don't get
Yeah.
that at all. That is weird. It's like you wanted to tribute him, but you didn't.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah,
what
but
I
you didn't
mean?
want to make it too obvious. I don't know.
Right,
Yeah.
Well, maybe it would be too complicated with the apostrophe because there's no apostrophe, right? No Neil Cruz.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
There's
that might be
for a first name. Yeah, you go apostrophe first name.
The scene of
It's a little
Paul,
different.
the scene of Paul O'Neill and Seinfeld is fantastic. I know you're not a huge Seinfeld guy, or are you? You're not,
I
right?
like it. I dabble. I
That
didn't
was
go crazy.
It's
on
an
it.
amazing episode. That was the wink, right? That was an amazing episode where he had to hit 2 home runs for the kid because Kramer promised the kid in the hospital 2 home runs, but one was an inside the park homer, but it was ruled a triple with an with an error. And the kid's like, it scored a triple with an error. Come on, Billy, that's just as good. I'm sorry, that was one of the great, and he was really good at acting chops there. Also, Paul O'Neill, I have to say, I'm not like a big Yankees fan or anything like that, but I love sports history. I respect the legacy teams. I respect the memory. You know, when the Yankees won the '96 World Series, it was a big deal, and they had one of the greatest dog piles ever. And I'm big on baseball piles coming back. Like when baseball teams celebrate championships, big moments, they don't
bigger in college. They love the dog.
Right,
piles
they don't
in college.
dogpile anymore.
Yeah.
They just jump around and dance and jump. They just get in a line and jump, and they hug each other. I really miss the days when they were for the World Series victory. There were these monster dog piles, and the best one of all time, if you look back, in my opinion, is the '96 Yankees World Series title. That was the greatest dog pile of all time. It
Wow,
formed
okay.
like a perfect kind of pyramid, like just perfectly. And then on the TV shot, I'll always remember this watching when I was 12 years old, Paul O'Neill jumping on the pile and doing like a cartwheel over the pile. Like one of the coolest things you'll ever see of just pure pandemonium and joy. I don't think we get that anymore. I don't know why. Maybe it's the way we're programmed as humans. We're desensitized to pure, like, unadulterated
it's the
joy. You know,
it's basically the like the ski goggles with champagne.
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing?
There's
It's
no-
supposed to sting.
You know, and I understand why they do it. I understand why they put plastic up now. I understand why it's like a setup championship celebration area. It's just not spontaneous like it used to be. So that's the thing about Paul O'Neill. It's silly. It's one of those weird sports things. Besides him being a great player, I'm always going to remember that about Paul O'Neill.
But here's the thing with dog piles, though. If you're on the bottom of that thing,
Oh, yeah.
it hurts and it is hard to breathe down
It's
there.
got to be brutal. Now,
Yeah.
it's also got to be one of those things where, 100 men could beat a silverback gorilla when you
Oh,
see all those guys piled on. That's how you beat the gorilla. Everyone piles on at the same time.
But it's not a
right.
gorilla. It's your 5'10" catcher.
I know.
And your 6'1" reliever at a $190
I just-
that are trying that are down at the bottom of the pile fighting for their lives.
I just want to relate it one more time to the gorilla's argument.
I never really thought about the injuries differing from celebration to
Sure,
celebration,
sure.
right? But you've got remember the Kendrys Morales one where he
Oh,
stomped on home plate,
Broke
and
his leg.
He completely jacked up a leg.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was out for
injury.
like a year or two after that.
And Billy Grammatica, the kicker, right? Celebrating a
Oh,
field
that
goal.
was the torn ACL is legendary.
And
Oh my
brutal.
gosh.
It's just crazy. And there's been weird injuries. We've talked a lot
Yeah.
about the Brewers' weird injuries, like Lucroy with the luggage and all
Yeah.
these different things.
Will
And,
Smith
Oh, that's
taking
a
off his
baseball
shoe.
thing. For
that's
sure.
a baseball
Yeah.
thing of like in the middle of the
Yeah.
night knocking into a window.
Stepping
You
on a
remember,
cactus.
Yeah.
You remember Cody Bellinger in the World Series
I
where
think
they
so.
they kind of like the old Bash Brothers where
Yeah.
you're not giving a high five, but I don't
you
know how
did
to
the
explain
elbows.
it, right? Kind of like you lock arms and he put it like tore his shoulder completely out of
Yeah.
socket or whatever. Yeah, it
There was
happens,
a-
man. But
There was a linebacker, sorry, Brian, I forget his
You're good.
name. That
For the Lions?
was that the one doing the celebration? of
Yeah,
the
he
belts?
tried to do the discount
Oh,
double check
discount double
after
check.
sacking Rodgers, and his knee popped. It's just down
well,
there.
it might have been Derek Barnes because they'll
Maybe.
sometimes stomp. They'll jump up and stomp, and it's ACL City. It's the Bill Grammatica thing all over
That's the
again.
most infamous one. And it's like you feel bad because they're excited. They did something great. They're achieving. You don't want them to get injured and like have to deal with, but it is
Stephen
like
Tulloch. That's
Oh,
who it
okay,
was. Stephen
okay.
Tulloch
Oh,
injured his
Tulloch,
knee.
yeah, that's the
while
NC
doing the
State guy.
discount
Yeah,
double
that's
check.
right. Yep, that's right. You're right. It
there was
wasn't Derek Barnes.
a guy in England or UK or Great Britain something that was so excited when Andy Murray beat Novak to win the Wimbledon that he jumped into the water, or like into the ocean in England, and almost died because he dislocated his shoulder as he hit the water. But he said to swim back to shore, the boat with a dislocated shoulder. And I mean, it's just crazy. It's,
Dude. There's one you should YouTube this one. I'll never forget. It was a Bears player in Foxborough. It was Lamar Houston, and he tore his ACL. Very similar to Tulloch, where you're kind of jumping up, you're celebrating, but it's rough on the road. You jump up, like whatever. You had a TFL, you had a sack. You jump up, what now? And then you just go down, boom, like there was a sniper. That's rough. And the rehab too.
That's the thing.
Think about months and months where you're like, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that?
All because you celebrated like what was supposed to be a great moment. I think Lindsey Vonn injured herself on a champagne bottle once when she was celebrating a win or something like that. The skier. So,
by the way, did you guys know like the O'Neal Cruz story? Like the shout out to Paul O'Neal. You remember Isaiah Thomas? Well, first I will start with the Pistons legend.
Sure.
Isaiah Thomas. But Isaiah Thomas, the shorter MVP candidate for a little while. Remember, he was going crazy for the Boston Celtics. He was named after Isaiah Thomas, and it's because his dad lost a bet. His dad was this huge, I forget how it worked out, where he was either a gigantic Laker fan and the Pistons won, and he had to name his kid Isaiah, or the other way around. He's a huge Pistons fan, but somehow, some way, he had a bet on the NBA Finals, lost, and had to name his son after Isaiah Thomas.
That's crazy.
I want a full-blown documentary on this story.
30 for 30, at least a short.
Yes.
You know, because why
Did
would
he
you
tell
actually
his
follow
wife?
through?
He's just pushing like, I think Isaiah's a great name. Yeah, I would love to know the whole story. Here's the other thing that I didn't know and learned yesterday. I think this is great from Ian Eagle on TNT.
Asar Thompson, his middle name. Are you familiar with his middle name? It's XLNC, spelling excellence.
How about that? For both twins, Amen Thompson with the Rockets, Asar Thompson with the Pistons. That's right. Excellence.
It's wild. It's wild. There's some.
No, Dave, you're not a fan. What are you? Come on. It's a great middle name.
XLNC.
Yeah. Hey, what's your middle name? James. Boring. What's your middle name? Philip. That's my middle name. Boring. Excellence. I'd much rather have Brian Excellence. No, are you kidding?
It looks more like old. Like that's more what it's spelled like. You just take out vowels.
Man.
Vowels are important.
Coming up next, you got to be open-minded.
Miss a second of today's show?
Yes.
Well, good news. Right after the show, the podcast will be up.
Nice.
Just search 97.3 The Game wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to follow, rate, and review it wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
It's playoff time, and the Admirals' quest for the Calder Cup continues. Saturday at 6, presented by Landmark Credit Union. Don't miss the excitement and fun for as little as $17. Saturday night at 6. Visit MilwaukeeAdmirals.com for more info, or download the Admirals app.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial. And I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable. But a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Warshawski's Victor Harding, Best Lawyers Product Liability Attorney of the Year, achieves maximum compensation.
Best Lawyers Complex Litigation Lawyer of the Year, Warshawski's Frank Cravello achieves maximum injury compensation.
Injured?
It is about the money.
Warshawski.com.
Milwaukee's home for the Packers and the flagship of the Packers Radio Network. We are 97.3 The Game.
Brother man, you ever get the Sunday scaries?
Sunday scaries?
Yeah, you stay up half the night on Sunday because you're worried about the upcoming week.
I used to, but not anymore. Not now that I found Happy Place Hemp Delta 8 gummies. I take one about an hour before bedtime and I sleep like a baby. But I'm not the only one. One smart, good-looking listener texted us and said they started taking the gummies for their anxiety. Now they're more relaxed. They get a good night's sleep. No more tossing and turning.
And now listeners can go to happyplacehemp.com, use the promo code DrewKB, and get 25% off their order. Can't beat that with a stick.
Happyplacehemp.com, promo code DrewKB.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Grab the contest rules for 97.3 The Game at thegamemke.com.
At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why their recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Game 2 of the Central Division semifinals between the Milwaukee Admirals and Rockford Ice Hogs is on tap for Saturday night.
Camel between the circles. Camel goes to the net. He scored. Do it, Kim Camel.
Pre-game coverage is 5:30. Face-off at 6 p.m. on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game. There is no BS with Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screaming is about.
Drop it. He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Well, the Milwaukee Brewers were going for the sweep yesterday over the Chicago White Sox, but couldn't quite get themselves there.
Catch up, and it's all wide of the plate to left-handers.
Robert Jr. on a line to center field. Churio running, and it's going to be over his head. Taylor will score. Here comes Mydron. Benintendi's right behind him. One after the other. The White Sox score 3.
White Sox broadcast on Chicago Sports Network there, and the Brewers fall 8-0 to the Sox, settle for the series win, and now come home to face the Chicago Cubs, the North Siders, after taking on the South Siders.
You don't hear that every day, Dave. You don't hear one after another, the White Sox scoring runs all at once. It's rare.
A rare moment for them, and unfortunately came against us. But listen, I don't care how bad you are as an MLB team. You're going to win some games sometimes. At least Brewers got the series. You move on. This is the big one now this weekend, Brewers Cubs. Hopefully get the series here. Would like to make a move on the Cubs here this weekend.
Yeah, and the White
We'll
Sox
see.
now 1 win closer to hitting Armin's
big deal.
over 51.
I don't think
bet.
I don't think I have a chance at that. I mean, it's 51 wins, so 51 and a half. So you always have a chance when it's in baseball with a number that low. Like for them just to go 500 for a month would be huge. I don't know, man. That was a system play. I said to myself, Brian, there's no way I can look at a total for a team at 51 and a half. They can't do that again, can they?
Oh,
It's my favorite thing to text you. You know, sometimes it's the regular season NBA unders.
Yeah.
When the total is so high.
System
it's
play.
246 and a half and it's system play under. I love texting you system play.
The way I feel about it, and we're going to get to our Potawatomi parlay of the day, Billy's parlay of the day soon. The way I feel about it is it's going to win or lose, but at least if I say system play, I'll feel better thinking I have a plan. So.
And we got some breaking news out of the NBA. Spurs head coach Greg Popovich has announced he will step down after 29 years at the helm. He's been away from the team for most of the season, dealing with health issues, and Popovich will transition to a team president role full time.
Yeah, the health issues, no doubt. Listen, Popovich in the final analysis, coaching wise, one of the greats there ever was. I think we'd all have to admit that. He did a lot with the team. I'd say it's a dynasty, even though they never won back-to-backs. Obviously, all the championships, they were a technical group in a small market that just kept winning titles.
Well, excellent resume, ton of success. You know, you mentioned it, Armin. I hate anybody in any type of bad shape health-wise. I know Pop has had his struggles as of late, so I totally understand why he would transition to another role. And I hate that health forces you to make decisions like that. So terrible. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he's completely healthy going forward. But even as it stands right now, what a run.
The way
and he's still going to be in charge of things down there. He's still going to be a team president.
The way history will look back at their run will not be as favorable as some of the other legendary runs in NBA history. And I think that's kind of unfair. I think part of the reason is they did it so quietly in that market. The stars were kind of, international, and obviously Duncan was, Virgin Islands, not international, but one of the most unassuming fundamental superstars. You call him a big fundamental, not an all-time flash guy. They never won back-to-backs, but 5 titles, incredible. But they never get talked about. Duncan never gets talked about.
Did the Spurs waste Greg Popovich's
prime?
No,
here we go.
Game 6 tonight between the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets. That's the only NBA game on the schedule tonight. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, 3 series came to an end last night. The Oilers beat the Kings in 6. The Vegas Golden Knights eliminated the Minnesota Wild in 6. And the Toronto Maple Leafs make it out of the first round and eliminate the Senators in 6. Colorado Avalanche beat the Dallas Stars 7-4 to force a Game 7. And just one NHL playoff game tonight, the Jets and Blues, Game 6.
Yeah, there's a market that's been looking for some hockey success finally, Toronto. Is it going to be this year finally where a Canadian team wins the World Cup?
Stanley
Cup. 1993.
It's possible.
1993.
It's been a long time since it's happened.
It's got to happen.
I mean, they got the Four Nations face-off.
They did get that. The Oilers were a game away last year, lost in Game 7. I could see them making a run. I don't know. Maybe that game will make a feature in our parlay. We'll see as we go forward here.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, the Four Nations face-off, that was awesome.
Was awesome.
I know it's a baseball thing, but that was a grand slam. They crushed it on that. Like, you compare it to other that was essentially their all-star game. They replaced it with that thing. That compared to other all-star events, oh my gosh, it's not even close. I love the NBA. I love the NFL. I love football above all other sports. But, the Pro Bowl games and the NBA All-Star weekend where you have by the way, while I'm talking about it, what do you guys think about? They're probably going to do the U.S. versus the world in the All-Star game, which I think is a good format. If no one cares, it doesn't matter what format you come up with.
I like it. I think
you
have to get these guys to play for something more than just money. It's got to be some sort of pride. And if there is some sort of ego involved, I'm telling you, that might be the key to make it actually a more interesting product. That's why the Four Nations face-off worked sort of unexpected for people. It's not often in sports you can just put together a brand new event like that and have it reach the heights of energy that it can. But it was all about playing for something bigger than yourself, money, whatever. It's all about the pride that was involved in putting the jersey on. So maybe that will be the key. There's been a lot of beef, and I know Giannis has even said it. He wants the European stars in the NBA. You can't tell me that American basketball fans and American NBA players like the whole European influx thing. That there's a little bit of waxy build up there. I think that might actually be a nice way to increase some interest in the All-Star game.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if it helps motivate them a little bit, I think it was one of the first instances where they had the Elam ending.
Yeah.
In the All-Star game, and it was great. Like, you got a real fourth quarter. They were competing, playing real defense. It was fun. So if the U.S. versus the world, if that format jumpstarts them, hey, great, awesome. But if you don't play with any sort of competitiveness,
right,
it's freaking brutal. It's awful.
It's brutal,
It's
brutal to watch. It's brutal for people to respect. Like, that's what people get into. The reason people like watching is when players and teams seem like they care, right? That's the whole thing about NBA playoffs versus NBA regular season too, that draws such a different audience and a different interest levels. The NBA playoffs, it's almost like a different sport. You can see how it changes in the NBA. Even like we're going to be talking about the over-under lines. You would never have total lines this low in the NBA regular season. It just changes to a different level in the playoffs, and that's why people love it, because the intensity ratchets up. The question is, how can people play like that all the time? That's the trick.
Yeah, we got a couple of things before the parlay here.
Yeah.
So I want to get to some of the texts, because some people, I want to throw something Bucks wise at you in a second here.
All right.
But I know some people are checking in on the Sports Genie, the random. Okay, so no football, no basketball, no baseball. You get a Sports Genie, 3 wishes. You can go anywhere, any sporting event. What do you choose? And so some people had some creative stuff.
262.
What do you have?
262 said the Oaks is an amazing event. Went last year and way more fun than the 2 minutes for the Derby. So there you go. Kentucky Oaks, I think, is what that is. A Schwartz Center Masters #1, Kentucky Derby #2, #3 World Cup. Bob in Minneapolis had a PBA event, bowling, or watching team handball in the Olympics in general. Bob in Minneapolis. What about that handball? You big handball guy? You watch a handball at all, Brian?
Not really big on, I mean, I'm not against it, but I can't say I've gone out of my way to check it out.
I think there would be some bowling events that would be cool. No doubt about it. Peyton and Oconomowoc at the Daytona 500, the Indy 500, and Talladega. Well, I guess you know what he likes.
Go.
I guess he likes motorsports. Lumberjack Pete's at the Bristol Night Race, the Monaco Grand Prix, and a St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup win. Well, you can't have an outcome like that. You can't choose an outcome. Like, I can't just say my one thing to do would be a Marquette National Championship win. Like, that's what you dream to happen, but Stanley Cup would be. But for this question, you can't control the outcome, I would say.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, that's some good stuff right there.
Yeah.
By the way, let me throw something Bucks wise at you.
All right,
for a second here before we get to the parlay of the day, because I texted you guys partially as an experiment and partially as a joke, because I saw you get these sports alerts, and I could just feel your guys's either disgust or disinterest, where it just says Giannis trade packages. Then it says 5 Godfather offers with rumors flying around the Greek freak. And so I sent you guys a screenshot of that. Dave hits us with the kind of like the rolling of the eyes emojis, Yeah. Armin's just laughing emojis, And that's what I thought. Here's my takeaway, though. I get your stance. You don't want to part with Giannis. It's crazy, but he's your guy. Fine, whatever. I don't understand why you wouldn't at least be open to the possibility of a Godfather offer that helps the Bucks out more so for their future. This isn't a championship window with Giannis, yada, yada, all that. Why wouldn't you at least be open to that? You're completely closed off to anything. Who knows what might be put in front of them far as a deal goes.
I think hearing the offers is one thing if they're legitimate and they're more tantalizing. Hey, people always say I wouldn't do this for so much money, but then when the money's in front of you, you decide differently. The problem I have is to me, a lot of this stuff is just obvious content filling, clickbaity. There's nothing to these. It's just someone playing Fantasyland fantasy basketball or video game like Madden, like coming up with stuff on their own. If this was like 3 GMs or 3 talent executives in the NBA or 3 personnel execs, these are realistic offers, it would be a little more interesting to me. And I guess to me, it's just like, why am I reading this stuff that has no basis in like reality or fact? Now, if it was just me playing Fantasyland and putting together the Madden, like what would be the coolest trade offers for them? That's me trying to wish a trade, and I don't want that. But some people do want that. And there are people, Brian, out there probably that are going to pick something like that up, read it with interest, and then go talk about it with their buddies, talk about it with their uncles, and then that's going to be this game of telephone where they're going to come back and say, I heard there were rumors the Bucks are going to trade for this, this, and this. No, it wasn't a rumor. It's not based in anything in reality. It's just a guy writing this on the internet to get someone to click on his site and his content so he can get the SEO and make some money on this. Like, that's the reality of that. So to me, it's just this spammy game that I'm not interested in. If it was you and I talking about what are realistic trade options, I'd sit and consider the realistic trade options. You put 5 in front of me and say, hey, would you rather have this one or this one? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, like, would I rather have like my favorite thing I ever had? And what would you rather have for that? Nothing. I'd rather have the favorite thing I ever had. But I guess we have to do it maybe, or if we have to do it, that's eventually the Sophie's choice I'm going to have. But it's a Sophie's choice. It's not something I like entertaining because it means my favorite thing, Giannis, and the run we had with Giannis and the dreams we had with him would be over. And that's not something I like thinking about.
Yeah. And for me, like there's no reason to look at like those kinds of like offers or proposals that, you know, whoever is putting out there until Giannis says, I want out of Milwaukee. Because until then, until he says that, I don't see it happening. I don't see it being a realistic possibility. So until then, anyone else throwing stuff out there, it's like, well, this is not realistic to look at. So why are we even going to bother?
I'm not saying like it can't be fun or entertaining at some point or interesting. It's just not to me. Not the place that I want to be in, Brent.
Well, listen, I get your first part. Well, it's absolutely, of course, for clicks. That's the first part.
Yeah,
so I mean, if that troubles you, you shouldn't like anything pretty much that's put out there. Like that's how it goes. But
it's not it's not as interesting then because I don't think.
But the thing though is when you talk about nothing's based in fact or reality, like that's just untrue. You can't put out just a trade scenario that's not even feasible. Like you wouldn't put that out there where it's like, dude, you would just get laughed at where they can't even do that. You put this, what you're saying in the trade machine, it'd be like, no, rejected. Like you're just wasting our time. So you have to know enough to not get laughed at, you know? So it is based in reality. It's not
a Godfather offer. Isn't that by its nature like
an offer you can't refuse?
Fantastical. Like even if that was the type of offer the Bucks would get, Bleacher Report saying Giannis trade packages, they're just coming up with stuff to put on the internet. Like my point is,
but that's the thing though, right?
There's no
like,
real
that's the thing.
rumor that someone wants to trade this, right? It's not like Nico Harrison's floating it out there to somebody. Like that would be interesting. Like if rumors say that Nico Harrison's interested in trading Kyrie this and 2 picks or something like that.
But I think you guys are too close to this.
Maybe,
I think
you're right.
Too much.
You might be right.
Really, like these are just you're throwing it out there. Like, hey, okay, so Dame is hurt. Giannis, he might want out. You know, the championship window isn't there. If he wants out, well, then what? Well, these might be some of the trade packages that they're presented with. Like that's all it is.
Right.
That's all it is.
And some people like playing that fantasy basketball more. To me, it's just junk food. It's like, let's sit around and talk about if you could come up with crazy trade packages, what would they be? It's just it's just a waste of time exercise to me until something real is actually happening. And maybe that's me being too close. I don't know, but I wouldn't sit around also saying what would have been the 5 best trade offers for Luka instead of just Anthony Davis. I don't think I would have done that. I wouldn't have spent my time trying to think, man, what do the Wizards have? And what do the Brooklyn Nets have? Some people do like that.
Well,
they like fantasy
basketball.
They like fantasy sports and all that stuff.
How can we work out a
if it's not your cup of tea?
I'm not saying
if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. But it's like I'm not huge into college football recruiting.
Right.
It's just
Same
not
thing.
my thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let me guess. He was awesome in high school. Okay, great. Right. Like I've heard this story a million times. It doesn't mean it's going to translate, but some people are all about it, right? Like
they
if the trade,
yes.
Yeah. Hey, if you're not into trade proposals, no problem. I'm not saying it has to be your cup of tea,
Right.
but it's just some of the things you'll say where it's not based in reality whatsoever. Yeah, it is. It has to be. It has to be based in reality. Right. It might not happen, but you can't come up with, all right, the Bucks trade Giannis to the Knicks for Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and OG Anunoby, and a bunch of picks. It's like, that's not even close to realistic.
Right.
It wouldn't happen, right? Like, it has to be at least realistic.
Maybe it's because we see so much of this that my eyes glaze over too. Like when you see so much of it, there. If I Google that right now, there'd be like 100 links from 100 random websites I've never heard of, like that would have something like this, and my eyes would just glaze over. Like, what's the point of me sifting through this whole thing when it's not something I think
the whole point. That's the whole point.
Yes.
If you were open-minded and said, hey, listen, like with this, broken down supporting cast, they can't sniff a title. It's the best path forward. Hey, but we might get a Tatum and Brown type combo. We might get an SGA MVP candidate. Let's say you were open-minded to it. I think that changes everything. Yes. Like, you don't want this. So why would you seek out things that might come about that you don't want? Of course you would.
No, and you will find some Bucks fans that are probably more open to trading Giannis. Now, there's a lot out there. A lot of voices are saying that would find more interest in that. There are some out there that would find it. I'm sure that would be more interested in that one, but it's the same old thing to me. Like people see this stuff and they think it's a real rumor or a real possibility or a report. And the lines are blurred now from real and fake all the time, or commentary or just content versus actual reporting all the time. That, you know how it is. What we see on Twitter now is not reality. There's AI sludge. There's people making stuff up all the time. There's NBA Centel, and it's for jokes for people. And I get that, but this situation is different for me.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Trust me, I do. But I think a lot of times, and we'll get to the parlay here real fast. I think a lot of times it's put out there. It's prefaced with, yo, these are just trade possibilities. I'm not reporting it. And it's on us. We don't even read. How many people putting stuff out there are like, dude, I totally put that in there.
Oh, yeah.
And you just skimmed right over it and thought it was something it wasn't. It happens a lot too.
Oh, yeah. We're to blame. Humans are to blame. They don't do their proper analysis and stuff like that.
All right. Can we finally? Yeah, right. Exactly. Underline it, the whole thing. All right. Can we win one of these things? Can we, please?
Time now for Billy's Parlay of the Day, brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest.
Sorry, Billy, we're over 4. We've come close this week. We're over 4. Billy's Parlay of the Day, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. This is our last chance to get one, Brian.
I'm just disgusted it hasn't worked out. Yesterday was the perfect scenario, and the Nuggets scored 2 more points than we needed.
Crazy.
That's how close we were.
So close.
But hey, you got to flush it. We're on to today. We're on to today. All right. I've got some NBA and some NHL. Yeah. I got puck and hoops for you here.
All right, let's go.
Tell me if you like any of these things. Give me the St. Louis Blues. Team total over 2.5 goals.
I like that.
Backs against the wall. They're down 3-2 against the Winnipeg Jets. We're at home. I'm not a Blues guy. I'm just,
Sure, I get it.
That's the way I'm talking right here. If this is one of our plays, we're on the St. Louis Blues. We need 3 goals. Season on the line. It's been a higher scoring series. I think they get it done. Give me the Blues to score at least 3 goals. You like it?
Yeah, I think so. Let me just find the line for that one at Potawatomi. Blues 2.5. Yeah, over 2.5, minus 110. I love it. Now I'll tell you why. I think the Jets' Connor Hellebuyck is once again regressing a little bit here. He's allowed 3 or more goals in his past 3 games, posting a 1-2 record with a .774 save percentage. And St. Louis has won both of its home games this postseason with an average winning margin of 4.5 goals.
Boom.
So there's a lot of indicators that say at least that they can score 3 goals. I love that one. That one's got to hit. Come on now. All right.
Can you do this at Potawatomi? Can you do the Blues to score first?
Let me see. Believe you can. Sure you can. First to 1 goal. Yeah, Blues. First to 1 goal is Blues minus 113. Do you like that one too?
You know, it's been a consistent trend. You know, you lose a game,
man,
you score first the next game.
You can bet it, but you can't parlay those together in Potawatomi.
Oh, boo!
Yeah, you can't do that one. Just try to enter it in. You can't have that one. So which one do you like better?
No, it should be Dikembe. No. It should be right. Yeah, the wagging index finger. That'd be amazing.
No, I like total goals by the Blues.
Okay, we'll stick with that.
All right.
Any hoops on your brain? I got a couple of plays.
A couple of plays for me. I know the thumb's there, but I keep looking at that Steph Curry line for points. And I think in an important closeout game, he's going to get a lot of shots up. He's their guy. Over 25.5. I got to like over that. Minus 117, over 25.5. I mean, man, just think about it. I mean, he obviously averaged like 27 points across the final 25 games of the season. This is still his team. He's going to be the one to take charge in a crucial closeout game, I think, Brian. He's appeared in 10 closeout games and averaged 26.7 points and scored in 26, and at least 6 of them, 3 or 4 at home. So there's some indicators there. It's the thumb that worries
only thing,
you.
Though, it's really not the thumb I'm not too worried about. To me, it's just how they're defending him.
Sure.
The last 2 games, they're just blitzing him. They're doubling him. It's sort of like, hey, if the role players beat us, if Podziemski is hitting threes, fine, but it's not going to be Steph Curry.
Do you like
and they've had success with it, so I don't know that they're going to change that whole game plan.
Do you like the assist line better? I have to go find
I think the assists definitely makes sense. 5.5.
Okay.
Or
he cleared that easy.
Man, he's been well under his point. Hey, he might have, what was it, game 3, he went crazy for 36 points at home. He's Steph Curry. He's more than capable of
That's
erupting.
true.
But
and
I just don't see them changing it. They're doubling, they're blitzing him. He's like the focal point of their defense.
They're going to take him away too. I mean, as much as we think he'll score, they're going to try and take him away. So maybe the assist line.
And you got
better.
Amen. What is it?
Thompson.
Excellence.
Amen. Excellence Thompson.
Yeah, you got to throw that into the equation as well.
If we would roll with over 5.5 assists, that's plus money, plus 114 at Potawatomi. So maybe that's.
I say,
go ahead.
Yeah, you might want to go with that. He had 5 quick assists. Last game, only played 23 minutes. I don't see them changing. They've had success doubling him. Why would they be like, yeah, let's just single cover?
Which means
him
he
now.
should get
Just
assists.
change it up.
He should get assist opportunities then, right?
He should.
All right.
He should.
Or we can do points and assists. The line there is 31.5. Is that too high? Pretty much.
I
the
like
same.
either. I like either. Just based on the trends, how they're defending him, I like either over assists or under points.
Well, let's do over 5.5 assists because that's the only one that's plus money. So the value's better.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. Nice. All right. Beautiful.
So
what do you think about tomorrow night? Right? What do you think about the Clippers at the Nuggets?
We can do that. It's a weekend parlay. Clippers at the Nuggets.
Who comes home with this?
Man, this has been a great series. And it's coming right down to the wire. I mean, Nuggets are at home. Right? I mean, the Nuggets are at home, right? Is it their moment? I don't know. This is a straight pickup, man. It's a 1-point spread. It's a 1-point spread.
Yeah, there've been some money on the Nuggets. The line has moved a little bit, but call me crazy. I actually like getting the 1.5 with the Clippers. You might even get more, but we got to lock it in right now.
The thing is, the Clippers have looked better this series. They look like the Nuggets. In the end, they have a new coach, right? At this moment, like in a game 7, is he going to be able to handle it? But we're asking the pick. They were picking against even money. The Nuggets at home. This is tough. I'd probably stay away.
It's a tough one.
If it was just me.
Oh no, you got to ride with this.
Okay, fine. Well, let's pick a team then. We got to pick somebody.
Pick a team or pick a prop. Like, here's the thing. Game 7, the big dogs show up.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Kawhi,
so you can target Jokic, Murray, Kawhi, Harden. Harden was aggressive, finally, offensively last night. Scored a bunch. His point total's 20.5.
He's too inconsistent, isn't he?
You don't like going with we're just throwing stuff against the wall.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
Yeah. I mean, you could do it. It might.
So
hit.
what? Okay, you like a prop or you like a side more?
I kind of like.
I like
under
the Clippers plus 1.5.
Under 205.
You like under?
No, let's do Clippers plus 1.5.
Freaking Nuggets, man. They broke our heart. Broke our heart scoring 2 more points than they should. Okay, what were you on? What do you like?
We can do Clippers plus 1.5 at minus 117. That would make this plus 616. All right, lock it in.
Let's do
over 2.5 team total goals by the Blues. Steph Curry over 5.5 assists, and Clippers plus 1.5. Plus 660 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Boom. There you have it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, coming up next. MVS. And we're not talking about Marquez Valdez-Scantling. All right, we will explain MVS coming up next. He is Armin Sarian. I'm Brian Noen for Billy. It's No BS here on The Game.
Hey guys, Billy Schmidt, and I want to let you in on a little secret. It's my friends at Milwaukee Weight Loss. They know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with their doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program that helps you lose weight fast and easy, naturally and safely, without taking drugs and without having to inject something into your stomach once a week. There's no prepackaged meals, no bars or shakes, and no exercising even required. Their program helps you reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good, and their coaches are there for ongoing support during their 4-month commitment. That's it at Milwaukee Weight Loss. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com today and schedule your free consultation. Best part is their program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. That's up to a pound a day. Schedule your free consultation today by giving them a call at 262-433-4008. That's 262-433-4008, or visit them online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. And when you sign up, make sure you tell them that you heard about it on The Game and that Billy Schmidt sent you. Results may vary.
Hey, y'all, this is singer-songwriter Riley Green, and my idea of a good time is grabbing a guitar, a few good friends, and some cold and smooth Busch Lights. Pick up a case of your own this weekend. No guitar needed.
Busch. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Divergent Family Law is experienced attorneys dotting every I, crossing every T, assuring you carry all of the assets and custodial rights you are legally entitled to down your new life path. Divergent Family Law, separate and equal or better. DivergentFamilyLaw.com.
I can see the breath inside my house. This is how horror movies start.
First, the cold seeps in. Next thing you know, you're spooning your cat for warmth.
I tried it. He bit me.
Jason, come on, man. You need a new furnace. Don't you know that Capital is giving away the furnace when you get a new AC?
Giving as in free?
Yeah, but call Capital before this turns into the horror version of Frozen. Call Capital today and get a free furnace with a new AC.
Old-fashioned service you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
Infinity's app shows precise costs of your new roof, providing peace of mind.
Infinity costs less, and the price we quote is surprise-free.
Because we pay less, you pay less. Warranted, guaranteed quality.
Installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
Sun, dirt, and grime can destroy your boat's finish, but not with Expel Marine ceramic coatings. Charisma Customs Delafield has your solution. Our expert technicians will apply a ceramic coating that will shield and repel water, resist oxidation, and blocks UV rays, keeping your boat looking showroom new season after season. Protect your investment and stop wasting valuable time cleaning your boat. Time to have fun. Call 262-444-2525 or visit charismacustoms.com to book your ceramic coating today. Charisma Customs, because your boat deserves the best.
How did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is a listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to be
Precio.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED. but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Wilmer Valderrama and Freddie Rodriguez welcome another amigo to their podcast, Dos Amigos. Wilmer's friend and former That 70s Show castmate Topher Grace stops by the Speakeasy for a 2-part interview to discuss his career and reminisce about old times.
We were still in that place of like, what will this experience become? And you go, you're having the best time you're ever going to have. Yeah. But it was like such a perfect golden time.
Listen to Dos Amigos on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Dos Amigos.
Don't miss your shot to win $1,000 in bonus bucks. Bonus bucks. Listen every hour, weekdays between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Bonus bucks. When you hear the nationwide keyword, enter it at our website.
Brought to you locally by ARR Recycling. Recycling pays. Go to ARR with your recyclable copper, brass, lead, steel, or aluminum and get cash. Visit them at ARR1938.com or stop in to their West Allis or Waukesha location. ARR Recycling since 1938.
All right, here's your chance to win some bonus bucks. Win $1,000 by entering this nationwide keyword. Enter the word cash. That's cash right now at 973thegame.com. I didn't want to start talking because it's one of the bangers of all time, the Macarena, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, come on,
no
man.
BS here on the game.
Get you the Friday mood.
Sorry, and Brian knowing for Billy. Okay, so listen, this is a great segue.
Yeah, okay. Oh, it is?
You go from legendary sound to MVS, the most valuable sound that we have used during this week. Okay.
Great topic. I love this. Okay.
You love this? All right. So we got a lot to work with here. Now, you might have to make some notes, right? Because if I play 10 things at you, you're probably going to forget what the first 2 were. You know, you have to. Okay. So keep your favorites in mind. We want your top 2 at the very end. You, Armin, you, Dave, I'll participate.
MVS.
So we'll go through it. It's pretty fast. We'll start with the NFL draft. Our guy, Marius Dell, the International Fan of the Year from Germany. Here you go.
What up, dog?
It's going to be hard to top. I'll just be honest with you. Of course, the joke that fell flat about Jared Goff owning the Packers. This is beautiful, too.
Now I want to hear all the Packers owners. Well, honestly, I didn't hurt Jared Goff. Sorry.
Listen, it is a whole primacy bias thing with it going first, but it's gonna be hard to beat What Up, Doe. Okay, that was
it. Really is. Okay, now this is cheating.
Week. Yeah,
this is a flashback from day 3 of this year's draft.
Okay,
right. So day 3, they did a flashback. I think it's hilarious talking about Tom Brady from '98. Or from 2000 his combine.
Question's going to be mobility. Only runs a 5.2, 5.40.
A 5.2, 5.40 is beautiful to me. Now, this is Terrion Arnold, the Lions cornerback, announcing the Lions' 2nd-round pick, which, listen, this is a pretty good troll job. Check it out.
You know, 1 year ago on this weekend, I cried because I thought I was going to be a Packer. But the Kings of the NFC North came and saved me. Detroit, baby, one pride.
Wow.
Hey, he tried. He tried.
He did try. Now, this goes on the Packers side here. Yeah, this was Ty Schmidt. He's a part of the Pat McAfee ensemble, but Packers fan. He was very fired up about the selection of Matthew Golden in the 1st round, and this is what he said on the air.
Let's go!
So you have that.
Well, he reflected a lot of feelings of Packers fans.
Yeah, playing Mad Mel, and little did we know, Mad Mel was actually on ESPN all weekend.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
Instead of on
okay,
Pat
now
McAfee.
you get to this, the awkward Belichick interview. Some gems from this. This is a shorter one.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No.
No, not talking.
That's
about
pretty
that.
good audio. It's a lot better than him rolling up in the raggedy sweatshirt. That might be up there.
This is a longer cut, but the awkwardness is so good.
I have to ask about Robert Kraft because 24 years together, 6 Super Bowls. Unless I'm wrong, he's not in this book. How come?
He's not. Well, again, it's about my life lessons in football, and it's really more about the ones that I experienced directly.
He's not even in the acknowledgement section.
Correct.
Do you feel like you were treated with dignity and respect when you were let go by Robert Kraft?
Yeah, well, it was a mutual decision for us to part ways.
He said fired.
It was a mutual decision.
The whole thing is
That's pretty good,
is-
and that's great
Correct.
interviewing, actually. Sorry, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Correct.
Correct.
Pretty
I
good.
like that. It's pretty
Yeah.
good right there. Correct.
It's just
But
two good
I guess
ones to
the-
choose from there. Yeah.
Yeah, the backdrop is they're supposed to be talking about the book, and this interviewer is asking him all these random, and that's why it got so awkward.
Which
where
I think
they're
was-
thinking, dude, where?
But that's a good interview. I think you have to ask tough questions, right? I mean,
Yeah, but-
isn't that what you do in trying?
Absolutely,
get
but
interesting?
we were thinking this was all about the book,
I
and now
know.
he's talking about this
Well,
and
he
that,
said it
and
was.
that's what led to the awkwardness or contributed. Okay, we got this from Barkley. I thought was funny. Jalen Green, not exactly, shooting left and right for the Rockets.
For that kid, they don't have 8 shots. That is ridiculous.
Okay, that's an okay one.
That's
This was
decent.
Jimmy Butler and Dylan Brooks got into it on the free throw line, right? Like Jimmy called him a B word and a bum. And so he was asked after the game, like, hey, were you having fun? Kind of like the school playground talking smack.
No, we're not having fun.
Which I thought was funny. Or this one.
There ain't nothing fun about that.
Okay. This you guys will love, of
Okay.
course. Giannis.
Totally unacceptable.
Totally.
That's
Totally
very, very
unacceptable.
disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
Yes.
And if you probably like this one the most.
I've won the championship. They haven't.
That's really good.
Yes.
That's really good.
That
a
might
good
be
one,
the most
too.
valuable one of the week.
We've got this from Brandon Bean, the Bills general manager.
You got to have something to bitch about, but bitching about wide receiver is one of the dumbest arguments I've heard.
He went in on some
I like that one a
Bills
lot. Yeah.
sports radio hosts. Yeah, this is close to the heart because of the parlay of the day.
The king has left the castle.
You're
I
with
think
Kyle
to be
Tucker.
fair, the amount of time we talked about King leaving the castle might have to be up there. Yeah.
It's up there. This one is a good. Oh, by the way,
Bye-bye.
bye with a Suzuki is
Sure.
pretty good. This one's one of my favorites on Korean TV.
Okay, I've decided. I'm sorry. I've
Okay, what are
decided.
your top two, Arvin? What do you have?
First, nothing's beating What Up Doe. That made me laugh so much this week. And there's a
What
lot
up,
of
Doe?
that's so good. I like Ty Schmidt because it reflected the feelings, but the sound itself wasn't as compelling as some of the other ones.
Okay, yeah.
No Fun is good. The Belichick interview is compelling. But I'm sorry, it's the Korean call at the end there. That's the best. Those are the
It
two
is.
best. What Up Doe and the Korean Brunson call. Yeah.
So
I'm right there.
I think there's one that we missed though that I think needs to be thrown out there in consideration. And that is John Halliburton. I was looking through you.
Oh man, that's right.
I was looking
Papa
through
Hallie.
you.
Let's get this.
Yeah.
You're right, Dave. Let's add this.
It might have seemed like I was looking at him, but I really wasn't. I was looking through him.
Looking through him.
Man,
Yeah.
those are all great stuff. Great work on the best sound, the MVS, most valuable sound. Great segment there. I love that. Great work on that.
Very
Brian.
nice.
Way to get them
Beautiful.
all together. Yeah.
Yes, no doubt.
We've
for
had
sure.
we're
Okay,
blessed
so-
with a good week of sounds. I'll say that.
absolutely. So is it, fully consensus here, Dave? You sign off on this? I would go with this.
I'm going
most
with
valuable
What Up
sound.
Dog and the looking through him.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay,
go
all
with
right.
the What Up Doe as one though.
Yeah, me too. So this is the MVS most valuable sound of the week.
What up, Doe?
I can't believe I haven't made a text tone or a ringtone yet.
Listen,
I have to do that immediately.
Got to
after
figure
the
out how to
show.
do that on your
Every
phone.
time we've called this week, that's how we've greeted each other. So I think that the proof's in the pudding.
Gotta be, yeah.
Absolutely.
What up, Doe? So that's the one right there.
Absolutely, it is. All right, coming up next, we got to get to a couple of things in Armin's life. All right, there's something going on in his life, and he also has an interesting theory here. Okay, so we'll pay both of those off coming up next. He's Armin Sarian. I'm Brian Noen for Billy. It's No BS on the game.
He was no good, so I.
Now, come on. What was I supposed to do? He was out of town, and his two friends who were so...
The sounds of summer are here. Brewers baseball returns to American Family Field all May long. Get your seats now at brewers.com.
Hey, it's Armin, and I have to tell you, I could not be happier with our new 97.3 The Game broadcast studio built by Rima Remodel. It's been a game changer, all thanks to the Rima Remodel team. RIEMER Remodel.com.
It's playoff time, and the Admirals' quest for the Calder Cup continues. Saturday at 6, presented by Landmark Credit Union. Don't miss the excitement and fun for as little as $17. Saturday night at 6. Visit MilwaukeeAdmirals.com for more info, or download the Admirals app.
Warshawski's Victor Harding, Best Lawyers Product Liability Attorney of the Year, achieves maximum compensation.
Best Lawyers Complex Litigation Lawyer of the Year, Warshawski's Frank Cravello, achieves maximum injury compensation.
Injured?
It is about the money.
Warshawski.com.
Drew and KB here with our buddies, Rob and Chris from HappyPlaceHemp.com.
You have a wide range of products, each of which has a different effect. How should I go about finding what's right for me?
The easiest thing to do is just try stuff. And like try our sample pack, for example. You can try all 7 varieties of gummies that we currently have, and then you can see which one works best for you, because everyone's unique and everyone has different experiences. But what I tell people to look for THC and CBD ratios. Higher CBD, lower THC concentrations are more for daily use. And then the higher THC type stuff, Delta 9s, Delta 8s, those are going to be more for, the fun factor.
If I drink a can of your seltzer, what will I experience?
I would say the unique thing about the seltzer is you're going to start feeling the effects in maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour where you're not, on the couch, but you just have a really good feeling about it.
Now get 25% off your entire order with the code Drew and KB in-store and online at HappyPlaceHemp.com.
Spring is in the air, but winter grime is still in your car. Come into Z-Bart for our spring detail sale, and we will professionally detail all the interior surfaces of your car. Carpets, leather, dash, trim, windows, cup holders, everything will be professionally cleaned and disinfected, leaving your car smelling and looking like showroom condition. That new car feeling doesn't have to be just a faint memory. Let Z-Bart turn your car from ew to wow. Visit zbart.com for more information.
Hey, it's Brian Butch for Window Nation, and right now it's the semi-annual sale, and you could save 60% off a house full of windows. For 2 years, you won't have to worry about a down payment, interest, or monthly payment. That's right. Pay nothing until 2027. Get a free entry door when you buy a house full of windows. That's the difference with Window Nation. Window Nation was recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. So you can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows. Give them a call at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com for the semi-annual window sale.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
A few more showers today with a high near 58 inland, 52 lakeside. Northeast turning east breeze at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Isolated showers tonight, low near 40. Should be 56 inland, 50 lakeside on Saturday with sun by the afternoon. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about fun Mother's Day gifts, all for under $15? Get low prices every day on unique finds before they're gone. In-store only at Macy's Backstage today. Find a location near you at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
Alzheimer's disease is the sixth leading cause of death in the country, and it's affecting almost 7 million Americans, including 110,000 people here in Wisconsin. UW-Madison is working hard to improve the lives of those affected, offering resources to educate and the latest in research and technology. The UW Initiative to End Alzheimer's has so many ways you can benefit, learn, get involved, and make a difference. Visit goalsforacure.org. That's goalsforacure.org.
Game 2 of the Central Division semifinals between the Milwaukee Admirals and Rockford Ice Hogs is on tap for Saturday night.
Campbell between the circles. Campbell goes to the net. He scored. Do it, Kim Campbell.
Pre-game coverage is 5:30. Face-off at 6 p.m. on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
This is how we do it.
It is No BS here on The Game. Armin Sari and Brian Nolan for Billy. Tell you what, man, I've almost said Fox Sports Radio 72 times this week.
But you haven't done it.
It's like, I have done it.
You have not
so
slipped up.
close.
On the game.
I need on the game. I need to know before we get to swimming lessons here. And I want to know what's going on in your life here, Armin. I want to know your cookies theory.
Cookies
because
theory.
we never got to
never
this
got
when
to
the
that.
Bucks lost a heartbreaker to the Pacers. What's this all about?
I've always talked about certain losses and like what the levels of losing is. And I know this has been a topic. Bill Simmons used to write about levels of losing. And I always think like you want your team to play a certain way more than like, so I'd rather have my team lose a close game than I'll get blown out. You want your team to play better. You want your team to have a chance to win. But the most painful types of losses are the ones where you have a lead or a late lead and blow it. I think that's the most painful type of losing than any other losing. If you get blown out right away, you can handle that type of losing. You accept that you're the worst team. If you lose a close game but didn't blow a lead late, that's bad, but it's not as bad. But the worst type of loss, I think, is sort of a loss that the Bucks had in Game 5, where they had a very good lead late in the situation, a high percentage, and the cookies theory is based on this.
Okay.
I think it's more brutal to not get the cookies when you can smell them baking out of the oven. That's the most 2014 NFC Championship was like this. The reason that hurt so much when the Packers lost is because we could all taste Super Bowl. We were there. We knew it was going to happen. We were 99% to win that game. Just like we could taste Game 6 at home as a Bucks fan. And when those cookies are baking in the oven and you can smell them coming out, you can taste the cookie, but it's taken away from you. That's more brutal of a loss than if the frozen cookie dough was in the oven and you never got a chance to smell that thing cooking. And the cookies were baking in the oven. We could smell them. We were about to eat them, and then they got taken away. That's my cookies theory with losses.
Yes.
It always hurts
I
worse
love that.
when they're baking in the oven.
Totally legit. I'm totally with you on that. And really, it's exactly what you're explaining, what hurts so much with sports betting. It's, again, you're smelling the cookies. We're good. We got this thing. And it goes haywire. Like, we were talking about the Cubs hitting 3 home runs off Paul Skeens in the 5th inning. Think if you had Pirates to win the first 5 innings yesterday.
Sure.
And you're right, like the Cubs have 2 outs in the 5th, and the Pirates still have a 1-run lead, and Paul Skeens up there. Like that's a brutal loss. So yeah, that's the worst. I think, listen, there are so many things that suck, whether you're betting on games or just watching them as a fan. It's hard when your team is losing and you're resigned. You're like,
it's much easier. It's much easier.
And then the
emotionally.
comeback, right? The comeback. We got a shot. Clippers against the Nuggets, right? They're losing by a ton.
Great
a couple
point.
of games ago, they made this huge comeback, and then Aaron Gordon is hitting a buzzer beater.
Wisconsin
dunk.
against BYU.
Great
NCAA tournament.
That's another one. Wisconsin nearly came all the way back to beat BYU. That would have been
They were down 17 or something. They were down a bunch with a few minutes to go. Then they come back within 2. Chance to tie it. Tanjay comes
on the
up
flip
short.
side. On the flip side,
Yes.
does it
Yeah.
feel a little bit better? Not as bad to make that comeback, but then eventually fall short. I don't know.
What's worse is having the big lead.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're good, and it goes to hell. That's the worst.
And when I talk about emotional hedge bets, and Billy's always shaking his head, that's really the origin of it. Because what are we always trying to do as sports fans? Really, is avoid that pain, right? That we're more. I think as sports fans, we're more afraid of the pain of our favorite team losing a big game, and we've experienced that a lot around here. It's that pain that just is what you try and avoid, that you're scared of. You run from your nightmares because the joy of winning is almost not as bad as the pain of losing, and the pain of losing in such a crushing fashion that the Bucks did in that sense. It is brutal. So that's my cookies theory right there.
Yeah, I like that theory. Okay, the swimming lessons. I need to know what's going on with these things.
All right, so Lena's 9 months, she's almost 10, and my wife Laura's like, we got to start these swimming lessons. They do. I'm like, really, at that age? But they do these little tyke swimming lessons right at that age, and it's great. So our first swimming lesson was at the YMCA right here on Wednesday. And let me tell you, I was nervous. Like we're in the pool with the baby. I gotta hold her tight, make
Arms
sure
are sweaty.
you're
Knees weak, arms are heavy.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
There's vomit.
mom spaghetti, all that stuff. But it turned out to be fantastic. You go in there, you play with little toys in the pool, you bounce around and sing songs. It's just really to get the baby used to it in the water. But I think, and Billy and I talked about this. I think it's more for the parents to get used to their kid being in the water and the emotions of that more than just the child getting used to the water. But man, I'm not lying to you. I walked in there. I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm like, I'm holding you tight. Nothing, I'm not letting you go because you just, they can slither out of there one moment and you get nervous. But no, it was great. She loved the water. And then we're getting done with class at the Y right over here in Greenfield. And who comes walking in with the 2-year-olds right after class? There he comes, Billy with the son Carson. So that was pretty awesome. Had no idea he was going to be there for that night for that class because I haven't talked to him all week. So that was cool. A lot of fun. So it was fun. It was great to get the first swimming lesson out of the way for little Lena, and I'm looking forward to number 2. She had a great time.
Can you remember what are your first memories of you trying to swim?
Man,
you remember that?
I took swimming lessons when I was a kid, but I think when we grew up in the 90s, I think we started a lot later. I was like 4 or 5 or something like that.
That's what I remember doing too.
I remember having the slip and slide in the backyard. The slip and slide was legit, man. You fill that thing up, you go sliding into that little plastic pool. That's the pool we had. That little plastic fill-up pool you get at Menards for $10 with the garden hose. That's what I remember.
I had no lessons and I almost drowned. There's a reason why you have lessons.
You serious?
Really?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I thought about this based on your swimming lessons, but they were neighborhood friends. It was Tara and Tommy Smyslow. Okay. And they had a circular pool. It was like 4 feet around and 6 feet in the middle.
Sure.
And Tommy was like, I don't know what happened. I was in the middle. And I was like going down, but I figured it out and I swam out of there.
Man, that's scary. Remember?
And here's me. I have no idea how to swim. I'm like, let me give this a shot. How hard could it be? I sunk like a rock.
Yeah.
And somehow Tara saved me. And she pretty much inhaled a gallon of water. It's so chaotic, and she's trying to help me up. I grabbed a breath, and I think I'm pushing her down. It's amazing we made it out.
That's a scary memory, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I always think like a rock too.
But the nice thing about being 8 feet tall is you don't have to
worry. Generally in the deep end of the pool, I'm still good to stand on my toes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like Bob Seger over there, like a rock.
Go.
Good all-time banger for a Silverado.
Indeed.
If you will. All right, we got the crosstalk coming up. We got Nick, we got Trevor, we got stuff to discuss. We'll do that next here on The Game.
I got a swimming pool full of liquor and they dive.
Miss a second of today's show?
Yes.
Well, good news. Right after the show, the podcast will be up.
Nice.
Just search 97.3 The Game wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to follow, rate, and review it wherever you